Y'all ready? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the New York born, Las Vegas made, always getting paid, with the Usain Bolt fast, the one to beat, but good luck with that. The man who never sleeps, and neither does his podcast. The notorious, the glorious, can do everything except Boris. Has the funniest jokes. Is always woke. The podcast GOAT. The man with the plan. AKA your host, Killer Cam. Now kick back in your seat and we welcome you to the podcast that never sleeps. Killer Cam. And witness greatness.
This should be fun. I'm excited.
Let's go. I'm excited too. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast Never Sleeps. I'm your host, Killer Cam, a.k.a. Cam, a.k.a. Chaboy. And with me always is the awesome, smart, talented, and handsome Jaw Resurrector.
Thank you.
Always good to have you, sir.
Always happy
Always
to be
good to have you. So we got a really fun episode planned for these guys today. Huh?
Yeah, really fun stuff, man. I love talking about this stuff.
Dude, I know. We got and we're taking sort of different routes. So we have the same overarching theme, right?
Yeah.
But we're going about it in sort of different ways, which we normally sort of do.
Yeah, which is more fun.
It works out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first and foremost, we got something really important. I think you know what that is, Jared. We gotta talk the weak sauce.
Should we reveal the topic first?
Why am I frozen?
I don't know. Hey, Anthony, thanks for joining the chat.
Chase Mack, Anthony, what's up? I was frozen.
Nice.
So, part of the weak sauce is today's top.
There we go. Yeah, why not? It should be.
So it absolutely is.
Yeah.
So reveal to the people the topic, Jaw Resurrector.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about wealthy, influential American dynasties. Yeah, the guys that pull the strings from behind the curtain. A lot of these family names we know, and we know there's just a little something extra they're doing that we can't put our finger on it, but we're going to try and put our finger on it today on this show.
That's what we're going to try
and talk about some good examples of what they've been up to over the past 100 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we picked different people.
Yep.
And I think they're different families.
Different
and they're
dynasties.
Both super cool. Both American dynasties, both very fascinating families.
Oh, yeah. Fun stories, conspiracy abound. There's some good stuff here. We're going to get into it.
Yeah. But first, let's talk about, like I said, the weak sauce.
Yes, sir.
So, Jared, how was your week, my man? How was it? Was it good? Was it mediocre? Was it amazing? What are we talking here? What do we got?
Yeah, so since last episode, it's been a good, interesting week, right? Some highs and lows. So,
okay.
On the highs, my son, he's 8 months here, 8 months now, and he's full on crawling. So he's got his full crawl in. He's able to pick himself up and stand up now, and he loves doing it and showing off.
He's the standing man now.
And he started singing along to the ABCs on one of his toys. The best he can, right? So it's but it's very close. Some of the letters are dead on. It's just been really great. So highs there.
E F G.
Yeah. He's just placating me pretty much. I think he's just a full genie. He's like a baby Stewie. He's just making it easy on me. Hey, Alicia.
It is a cool topic.
Yeah,
right, you are.
This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be super sick.
So those are the highs.
How was your Memorial Day?
Real quick, the lows. I watched some documentaries that were so eye-opening while I was, looking into my research, or at least researching my guy, my dynasty.
Okay.
And there were some documentaries that led me down, and it was almost depressing. Some of this stuff because of how awful
some of these human beings are.
Yeah, just some of the things that have been going on. Yeah, man, the nonsense. So highs and lows. Memorial Day weekend, really great. Memorial Day itself, I got to see you, got to see the family.
Did anybody cook like really good hot dogs or really tasty steaks?
I wish, man. I showed up and everything was just disgusting. I could barely edible. I'm not sure who was behind the barbecue.
I cooked some good steaks and some damn good dogs.
No. Yeah. Every plate was clean. Good job. Man. That was good. Yeah. But no, it was fun to see you. It's always great to be around the family. The baby just loves.
I got to see the baby.
Yeah, being around the fam.
He smiles as soon as he sees me, which is the warmest feeling. There's no
really
better feeling. It's like dogs. Like they have like this keen sense. They know who's good, who's shitty.
Yeah, or if you're in a bad mood, even, and sometimes
cheers you right up.
Yeah, they
it's
know.
It's like a dog, but a better
cute.
version. The
Way
dog
better.
that grows up.
Yeah.
Into a human man.
Yeah,
It's weird.
that is
He's
very.
gonna be a
weird.
human man rolling around one day.
The weird thing is like all the organs and stuff. Like a woman actually builds this inside of them.
Yeah.
It comes out with all these organs and it can move. Then it starts to
comes
think
out
for
screaming.
itself.
Literally.
It's wild. Yeah. It is what it is. But if you really think about it objectively, it's kind of insane. It's like ridiculous that this is how people are made.
No, I know. You know what else is insane? That other animals, like aren't as dependent. They like leave the womb and they're like,
they
all
can go
now I
find
gotta
their own
protect
food.
myself.
Yeah.
Now I got to go fend on for myself.
Like even puppies.
I've been alive for 8 minutes, so I got to go.
What is that?
Get a job.
Babies, they can't do anything. They are completely useless without parents. Like dogs, they
weird.
run around. They run up to the mommy, start drinking the milk right off of them.
Yeah, and we're supposed to be like the
top of the food chain. Yeah,
the
exactly.
top of the food chain. The creme de la
smartest
creme.
of all the animals, right? But
It's wild.
it is weird and wild.
Wow.
Wired.
Wired magazine
Is periodical.
period the end
Exclamation point.
point of view
Is
what you think always
happening.
today.
And we did it.
Well done.
I know.
dude.
High five.
That was incredible.
I knew we
can't
wanted to
believe
get to
we
today
ended
somehow.
up with today. So
Yeah.
that was a good week, Sauce. Next,
You don't want to do
everybody's-
yours? You don't want to talk about
I
anything?
sort of did. I said
you made some good
I made
foods.
some good foods.
Yep.
I got some good eats. So yeah, it was a fun Memorial Day. We got some drinks, some eats, some fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
I went out to eat. I went to Outback, a little steakhouse action going. It was good times.
That sounds amazing.
But you know what else is amazing?
What?
The freaking Marvel Minute.
Yeah, it is. Look at that logo.
Look at that logo.
Oh, it's the previous logo. Still
No one
very
knows
good
it's a new
logo.
logo.
Right there.
Yeah.
There may be a new logo on the horizon.
No, it actually is in the streaming soon. I
Okay.
sneaked the new logo in there.
Oh, that's cool.
But I'm gonna put it up. We'll talk about it later.
So the
there was a quality
streaming
issue.
soon has a coming soon.
Yep.
Very cool.
Boom. Coming soon.
No, man.
So for this Marvel Minute, we're talking dynasties, American dynasties,
Of course.
major families. So in Marvel right now, there's something of a dynasty. There's even a movie
yeah.
named Dynasty, right?
That's
There's
supposedly
the Kang
coming. Yep,
Dynasty,
yep.
right? Which is Avengers 5.
5, yeah.
5.
Fly.
I say it like I have a speech impediment. So it's Avengers 5, and it's called Kang Dynasty.
Yeah.
But like we discussed last episode,
Yes.
there's a little problem with Jonathan Majors.
Crash Talk. Yeah. Not last episode.
Last Crash Talk.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a problem with Mr. Majors.
Yes, sir.
He harassed, strangled, and abused his girlfriend.
Allegedly.
Yikes. Allegedly.
Right.
Well, of course, allegedly.
Yes, because guilty.
Innocent till proven guilty.
Exactly.
You're about
I
to
almost
reverse
switched
it.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is what's been reported. She did go to the hospital after the fact. So it's very disappointing if this is what transpired. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his acting. Everything I've seen him in is so good, and I was really looking forward to seeing the Avengers fight it out with the entire Kang Dynasty. And how would they make that interesting?
Yeah.
I was excited for it. Ant-Man left us hanging with, ooh, I'm glad we never have to deal with this guy again, right? And now maybe we won't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. So something I heard that was actually sort of eye-opening was, and it sucks because the situation they're in. This person was saying, I think it was New Rock Stars, maybe.
Great
Pardon me,
channel.
But they were saying, never before has Marvel put all their eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's insane
they
how
had
hard
the
they went.
entire series 1 of Loki was building up Kang.
Mm-hmm.
The entire season 2 is going to be about Kang.
Yeah.
We just had the releases of the names for the next 2 phases.
Yep.
One of the films is the freaking Kang Dynasty.
Yep.
Jonathan Majors was the main villain and
for
setting up
Quantumania
in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. They have never put so many eggs into one basket. Even with Brolin and everything, not even close.
No, we slowly led up to this point where we knew this is where they were going, but it wasn't held up by him as a person.
Just him.
Just the idea of a Thanos coming, and it could have been anybody.
Between Avengers: Age of Ultron, if they recast,
nobody would have even cared. He had 2 seconds on screen.
That's it. I'll do it myself.
No,
it's like nobody cares, right? But Jonathan Majors, you change this actor, it's going to look ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. I mean, given he is multiversal, so we can have different versions of him.
But all know what's up.
Yeah,
so
exactly. It would not be cool.
Freaking
I hate
dumb.
recasts as it is. That's like the worst thing you can do.
I know.
Especially deep.
I think Iron Man 2 handled it the best.
But it was only
I'm
one
here,
movie.
let's get over it. Yeah. Whatever he said, like he literally like almost broke the fourth wall.
That was funny, yeah.
He was like talking to the audience.
It's me. Yeah, let's
it's
on,
me.
yeah.
I'm here. Yeah, let's move on. Let's get over it, whatever he said.
But he was only in one film. This guy's already been in 2 shows and a movie and after credit scenes and we know we know what was coming with him. So it's different. It's not one guy.
No. So he did some dumb stuff. Marvel squeaky clean image. If they have to pivot, if they have to change, right?
Right.
Where are we going? On Crash Talk, you know what I said? I say we do Doom.
Yeah, I like that.
I say we do Dr. Doom.
I like that
bro.
theory because all I want is to get to Battle World, and Battle World is Doom. We know Fantastic Four is coming out. It's on the slate. That's been confirmed forever.
Doom. And if they have a villain that isn't Doom and they want to do Doom in like the second one, fools.
Don't do it. Just do Doom. If this guy is out, like if he's out, do Doom. Yeah, we need it.
We need it.
He's one of the greatest Marvel villains there is. He's so
great.
Dope.
He's so freaking dope.
Just this genius level intellect. Plus, he's the fortitude. This guy is hard to beat. He's got his own technology.
Well, he's sort of like Kang, but doper. Everybody likes Dr. Doom more.
Oh yeah,
Kang.
Who knew about Kang until recently? Honestly,
a lot of people.
Comic book nerds did, but I'm talking about like the masses.
No,
Kang is a new name for some of these people. But if you ask
100%.
Someone that doesn't know Marvel who Dr. Doom is, they've heard the freaking name.
Yeah,
they could even probably put a mask to it.
But Kang, they're like, whatever, dude. Who's that? Yeah.
Right.
Dr. Doom, they can for sure.
Yeah.
Sing his theme song.
The green, right?
Well, they'll probably sing his theme song, right?
What?
Dr. Doom, Where are you and why are you the meanie pants that you are?
Yeah. Because you're Dr. Doom. Yeah, that's right. The well-known Doom song.
Everyone knows that.
Everyone grows up singing that on the playground when you're jump roping.
Yeah.
Why are you such a meanie pants, Dr. Doom?
Everyone sings that when they're building their Legos.
Yeah, and they're double dutching apparently. So that's what
they're
I was
doing well.
Yeah.
It's really building Legos while double dutching is so tough.
Yeah, it's hard. If
But
you
I've
if you go
mastered
on like one of these streaming services, you'll find a few videos of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I have an Etsy where it's just
that's
videos
all videos of
me
that.
doing that.
Well,
so that could suck, but
yeah, I hope. Well, actually, the problem is even allegedly, it's too late now. Whether he did it or not, this is out there. The image of him is tarnished. Marvel, just based on, remember that one guy who we loved, James Gunn, who was building this incredible universe for them. They dropped him in a second once those tweets came out from 7 years prior. They were ready to just axe him entirely.
Yep.
So this
Dave Chappelle.
actual assault, I don't know. Just the alleging could be enough to end this dynasty.
In this dynasty.
Yeah.
So Dave Chappelle did a great bit where he's
so
like,
good.
He's the best there is.
Yeah, he's really is.
So I just want to pause on Kangarini here.
Alicia likes the song. Meanie Pants.
I knew she would like it.
That's pretty funny. Yeah.
Can I get a Kang? Can I get a Kang, man? Okay, here we go. There's the Kang.
There's a
Boom. Jesus Christ. 20 minutes into the trailer.
Mr. Kang.
So,
and this is the part where he actually is lifting up that young girl and like strangling her with his powers and beating her against the wall. So it's
that
like
young girl.
It's awful.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's just because it is topical based on what we're saying now. Now, allegedly,
he's abusing stature.
Yeah, he's literally beating a woman in this scene.
Yeah. Well, not beating her, but yeah, sure. But what was I saying? Something clever, funny.
No,
Brilliant.
But you were probably going to get there.
Yeah, I was gonna get
no,
up
well,
there.
yeah, what were you saying?
Uh-huh.
The future. Oh no, I was saying James Gunn, and then I think you had something to add about that. That they dropped him after tweets that were like 7 years old, and now just alleging.
That's what it was. Dave Chappelle.
There it is.
Dave Chappelle is a great bit where he's like, He's like, ready? Dear, if you ever do anything, and we find out about it, I don't care if you did it 10 years ago, 5 years ago. I don't care what it was. If you did it 20 years ago, I don't care what it was.
Right.
If I find out about it, I'm going to make sure I take everything you have. I'm going to take everything from you.
Wow.
I don't care what it is.
That's the voice he does and everything?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
exactly what he's doing with the stuttering.
Jeez
and
Louise.
And he's like, who am I?
Right.
I'm you people.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I was going to say the internet.
It's so good. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh.
It doesn't matter what I did, when I did it.
Yeah.
If I ever fucked up in my entire life
Yeah.
and you find out about it, you're going to try and take everything from me and end my career.
It's pretty
if
wrong.
it's true or not. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's true or not is the problem.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
some of these things, they're horrific crimes.
Absolutely.
And these people deserve to be, ousted from society.
Dude,
or
yes.
from at least being...
Kevin Spacey should never be in another Hollywood film.
Yeah, there's some people where the
Despicable.
things they've done,
And I
they
loved him as an
shouldn't
actor.
be honored, and they shouldn't be
In any way.
privileged
And he
with
actually
money and starring roles.
Spacey just won like an award actually like a month or so ago. Ridiculous that they're still giving these people accolades, especially someone like him. Who
I don't know enough about his story to really jump on his back, but I know
assaulting
some of it.
little boys. That's all you got to know.
That's what he was doing.
Yep.
Ah, jeez,
Yep.
Louise. Like he proven guilty.
Yep.
Ouch.
Yep. One actor, actor Anthony Rapp, he was in Rent. He played the cameraman guy.
Okay.
When he was like 12, Spacey invited him into an adult party, like a party.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
Kept
even
him in
wanna
the
know
room,
more.
wouldn't let
Yeah.
him leave, put his hand on his leg, all the nonsense you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
All the stuff you don't want to. Speaking of, and we won't get into this because it's so gross, so I don't want to really talk about it.
Okay. Don't have to.
In Vegas, where we live. I got
Okay.
some on my lip. In Vegas, where we live, a young teen was just arrested for assaulting a girl while people watched and filmed while she was laughing and crying. Or while they were laughing while she was crying for help.
Yeah.
I just saw it on my Twitter. A teen assaulting a teen. It's the most horrific stuff. And these kids were watching. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you freaking people? Anyway, people are disgusting and sick. Just so sad. Sad.
Yeah, that is sad, man.
Teenager. His life hopefully is ruined because
Right.
he made the stupidest
And
decision.
that's the worst part, yeah, is like people that, I mean, you're really putting your life in your hands when you're the ones committing this type of an act. If you're just because you want to be around during some of this bad stuff happening, you're putting your life into your own hands for just being there. And if you're not willing to stand up and do something about it, you're just as bad as the people doing it.
Absolutely.
It's rough. So yeah. We'll get to a lighter note because that stuff bugs the hell out
No,
of me.
man.
Yeah.
I saw it on Twitter and a Twitter notification popped up. I'm like, oh, man, Vegas alert, blah blah blah.
Right, yeah.
Breaking
And it
news.
happens everywhere.
I'm like,
it is
geez,
what it
Louise.
is. Yeah.
Anyway, it was the worst. So on a lighter note,
Yeah.
I guess.
So what do you think? So they go Doom. We still get Battle World. We might even get a moment because you were saying, what if Tom Cruise played Doom?
Dude, that's
oh my
it.
gosh, that's the greatest idea I've ever heard in my life. And then I was picturing Tom Cruise walking up to a multiversal
Jr.
version of Iron Man coming back for his return.
He'll say like, "I am Doom," or he'll be like, "Who are you?" "I am Doom," whatever he says, right? Tom
Yeah,
Cruise.
yeah.
And it'll be like a voice modulator or whatever. It could be a
Right.
Come on, Cameron, you have 15.
And then he shows up and you're not expecting it. That would be cool. And he goes,
What Doom, bitch?
Why?
Oh, what day is it?
But he already used the I am Iron Man thing for the snap.
No, that's why I don't want him to say Iron
Yeah,
Man.
you can't
That's why
say
I want
that.
him to say, "Who are you?" and Doom say, "I am Doom." It's like a reverse on it.
Okay,
That's
okay.
what I was doing.
But just
That's
the
what I was
idea of
dooming.
them up against each other would
Love.
be so cool. Dude.
Love.
What a fight.
Tom Cruise versus RDJ, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And RDJ actually comes up in one of my stories, curious enough.
Exciting. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Cool.
So, to business?
To business.
Or do you want to keep talking about it a little more?
No, I think we covered this.
So I think if they do pivot to Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
And just start doing that, you could just even say, "Oh, Kang, he's stuck back in the multiverse, like prick," whatever.
they'll figure out a
And
way
they
to
could
get
just be
rid-
like, "Doom's what's up now.
Yeah.
Doom's the real threat."
And again, just prepare yourselves out there, big Marvel fans. This could be the end of the Kang Dynasty over something ending
ending before it even began.
Yeah.
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 To business.
To business.
If all the animals along the equator were capable of flattery,
then Thanksgiving and Halloween would fall on the same day. Yeah.
Well said. Well said. All right. So for your American Family Dynasty, who do you got, my dude?
Well, I've talked about him a couple times on this show. We never like dove into it.
Okay.
So I had to go here.
Real quick, Chase, you are so right. The High Evolutionary is a really good villain. Better than Kang, in my opinion. Better than Kang.
That's cool to know.
And I preferred Quantumania to Guardians 3. I need to give it a watch again. I was watching it with a buddy who isn't really into Marvel. Andy, you got to watch it, whatever.
You do.
But anyway, so you've talked about this man before.
Yeah. So I had to do it. I'm going to talk about JP Morgan.
That's a real
JP Morgan. We all know Morgan, JP Morgan Chase Bank, right? Still around today. It's the second largest bank in the world.
On my account, on my Chase app, it still says JP Morgan Chase $1 million account. Oh, excuse me, bank account. It says $1 million account. Never have it in this.
Yeah. Speaking of Chase, in the chat, you're part of the problem. It's JP Morgan Chase. That's you. It's you. No.
JP Morgan Chase.
Yeah, no.
I get it.
But so they're the second largest bank in the world right now. But JP Morgan, the reason I picked him, right? If you guys have watched this show at all, you know the kinds of things that I advocate for and the kind of things I advocate against.
Yep.
Technology suppression is one of them.
One of the biggest.
One of the biggest issues I have.
You hate.
I hate it.
Technology
It's so frustrating. The scientific community deserves to see these things and to
for
further
you,
them.
hatred, it goes clowns.
Yeah. Okay.
Kittens.
Oh. Sure.
Hatred. You have a hatred of cats.
Yeah.
You have a visceral, true hatred of cats. Well, and then it goes suppression of technology.
Never had a cat, so I don't hate cats. I don't want people thinking I hate cats.
You know, cats
just for fun.
are a thinking man's animal. You know, it's there's a statistic that came out that said cat owners, male cat owners specifically, are more likely to go to college and are usually more have a higher IQ, a higher intelligent quotient.
I could see that because the nature of a cat is to be in solitude and to kind of get by on its own by any means necessary. It's not dependent on you at all.
Yeah.
In fact, it rather not you exist. It would prefer that if you didn't.
If the food came and someone cleaned out my litter box and I didn't have to see you. Yeah, but dogs
if you don't,
are like,
they'll go out and get it.
Dogs are like, oh, he left. He's going to be home any minute.
Yeah. Way more
8
dependent.
hours later. Any second. Oh, he's home, dude. Yes. Yeah. Like that's what's great about dogs, though, right?
Welcome back, TBRM.
TBRM and McKenna, the two homies. So TBRM said, great topic.
Yep.
I'm super interested in this. And then McKenna, in her voice, which I assume sounds something like this, Ant-Man is terrible.
Yeah, man.
I'm assuming that's how McKenna sounds. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was so
there we go. So an opposing view there. I'm interested. I haven't seen Guardians.
How good was my McKenna impression, though?
Yeah, well, knowing McKenna so well, I'm going to say it was pretty good.
It was dead on. I know. You're welcome, McKenna.
Yeah, but welcome back, McKenna, TBRM. Chase still on Quantumania. He says Quantumania was terrible. Guardians 3 was an 8.5 out of 10. Okay,
wow.
I can't wait to see this freaking movie. It
dude.
seems like it's
I need to see it. I need to see it again. Quantumania was terrible. And then TBRM said, cats are curious.
It seems like a great movie. And I purposely haven't watched anything but teasers for this reason. I want to go in there just like, whoa.
So you haven't seen, what's his name die yet? I'm just kidding.
I have not.
J.K. Lols, J.K. Rowling.
So let's get into American dynasties. These guys that pull the strings. So J.P. Morgan, I'm going to give you a quick bio just to give you an idea of the kind of person he is. And then I'm going to tell you a couple stories about things that he's done. I picked him. I said, again, technology suppression is something I'm super against.
Of course.
If we look at just the past, 50 years, look at how far our technology's come in almost every single area except for one, energy. It's the one area where we seem to have no advancements in 100 years.
In 100 years.
That's kind of strange, don't you think? How are we so good at advancing technologies in all other aspects except for energy creation and propulsion?
I'm really digging the voice you're doing.
Good. What is it different?
Yeah. And who would have thought we would? Yeah, you're doing a whole thing. I love it. Keep it up.
It's not intentional. It's just who I am. It's in there. It must come out during this type of
who
stuff.
I am now.
Yeah,
I like it.
So I feel like J.P. Morgan could be single-handedly responsible for energy technology being halted, shuttered, and then people after him continued this pattern and routine.
Foolish, antiquated nonsense.
So let's dive into it, and I'll show you what evidence I have to that, and we'll talk about some other interesting conspiracies around J.P. Morgan as well. Just to give you some background, so he's born early 1800s, 1813, if I remember correctly. He was born in a wealthy family. He had every opportunity. He also preferred solitude. One of his favorite things to do growing up was solitaire.
No way.
Yeah, one of his heroes. It's not a founding father. It's not an American hero. It's actually Napoleon. That's who he idolized growing up. And he did it. He idolized him specifically because he tried to take over the world. He thought that was cool.
Oh, that's what he liked about him.
Yeah, that's what he liked about him.
Oh.
So this kind of gives you an idea of who the guy is, right? So as he's growing up, his dad's in the finance industry, gets him a job at a bank. He would report back to his dad all the time, letting him know the state of American politics and American finance. So very close relationship with his father, who was very hard on him growing up and had a very specific idea of how he should act.
McKenna said that sounded exactly like me.
That's great.
She's funny.
Nice, McKenna, with the zinger.
Sorry. We're going.
No, you're fine. So this guy, he gets in the finance industry when he's young. He ends up. So when the Civil War breaks out, this speaks to his character. What he would do is he would buy war bonds, and he would do it dispassionately, based on who was winning what battles, and he could make a lot of money that way. Yeah, he wasn't supporting.
He was born
Assad.
in 1913. You said?
Yeah, 1813.
Shit.
Early 1800s.
Oh, that's right. He's he's old school.
He's old school. This guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's who created the J.P. Morgan Bank, right?
Which has been around for
a long time.
For 100 years.
For 100 years. Yeah, this guy. Again, he works in the finance industry. He starts buying war bonds based on who's winning what battles in the Civil War. Then he gets this amazing thing that changes things for him. He gets a government contract. He bought a rifle company, and he was able to sell rifles to the Union Army. Now we know companies love doing business with the government because they can make a lot of money doing it.
You could say,
especially in the defense business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we sell these guns for $12. Oh, government contract. So they're $58.
100% what they do. And actually, that's what I was about to say. So originally, he sells rifles for $3.50 to the Army. When things get rough, they need the rifles. They need
supply
them.
And demand.
They go back to him and say, we need another shipment of those rifles. He goes, of course, $22 a piece.
Yeah. Of course.
From $3 to $22 for the Union Army.
Nothing changed. How they manufactured didn't change. The
same gun.
Location, nothing changed.
Same
weapon, same manufacturing.
It's price gouging. Yeah, it was
price
100%
gouging.
what it is.
And that was the only reason, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the only reason. It was for money. So again, this not in support of the Northern Army or of what their cause was at all. He was willing to overcharge them.
Who's paying?
And even some politicians back then said that it was almost treasonous what he was doing.
Damn near.
Charging the government that much money during a war.
Damn near treasonous.
It's pretty gross. So, but now we're getting an idea, right, of how this guy thinks. The railroad industry starts taking off, and now we get to the Gilded Age, where these families like the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, and so now the Morgan family, these guys are all making tons of money, and because he was in finance, he had access to all of these tastemakers and wealthy elites in New York City.
So you actually sent me a video about a quote where it was a long quote from J.D. Rockefeller. It was actually from like his secret journal or whatever.
Okay.
Do you remember?
I didn't watch it. I just sent it, I think.
Oh,
I just was
you
like, hey,
didn't
check this.
watch
I
it?
didn't watch it.
Dude,
Yeah.
it is like 10 minutes long, but I'll spin it for you quick.
Yeah, please.
Super quick. So basically he's saying we need to poison everybody. We need to poison the masses. We need to poison their food. We need to keep them stupid. We need to do everything we can from the news to what they eat to the air they breathe needs to be poisoned.
That's so
and when
freaking annoying.
And when they beg us for medicine, we'll give them medicine with more poison in it.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of rumors and stuff about that that's going on for years.
So
those people
to
hear someone
who are
actually
on
saying it.
The people who are on the fringes, who say,
Yeah.
"Oh, don't eat that or don't drink
don't
that."
drink the water. The
there's this, that.
fluoride is gonna sterilize you.
Yep, exactly. Stuff like that. There was actually a man who that was his intention.
And he was in an influential position.
A very influential man with a lot of power and a lot of money. So
And during this time, this was like the beginnings of pay for play with the government too. J.P. Morgan was huge.
this
with
was
that.
the true birth of like American capitalism.
And lobbyists lobbying the government, paying politicians to vote for certain things the way you want them to, because it's going to make you more money.
Lobbyists should be
and it shows they can make
illegal,
more money.
by the way. Lobbyists shouldn't exist.
It's it's
Even
an
the idea of it
obvious
is-
conflict. It's absurd.
So clearly,
Yeah.
hey, I'm part of the backpack industry, whatever. I sell backpacks.
Yeah.
Here's $2 million for your campaign.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that bill just came across your table about outlawing backpacks.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a little help. I helped you.
Remember? Yeah, I scratch your back, and then you make sure that
But your
my-
backpacks literally explode and kill people.
Yeah, but I
keep
scratch
you,
your back, and
right?
you put on my backpack.
It's okay. We're fixing that. I promise it'll get fixed, but you owe us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that sucks. J.P. Morgan, huge when it came to that. The
Backpacks.
pay for play. He was good. Yeah, backpacks. He was a big proponent of the backpack.
He loved him. Every
He was
picture
one of
you
the
see,
first.
he got a JanSport on.
You know what's funny about his pictures? So he actually had this. His nose was completely destroyed. Huge bulbous nose with all these
beautiful.
holes in it.
Was that from alcoholism?
And he
or-
had it painted out. Like if you look at pictures of him,
Sick.
you don't see it. It's all
Yeah.
smooth and a normal nose. If you find there are rare pictures of him where you can see what it really looked like.
Yeah.
But he was like,
He's like
he was
he's-
early Photoshop.
He's
man.
Brad Pitt, and then you see him in real life. And
Yeah,
he's
he was an
fucking
early
Elephant
TikTok
Man.
influencer. Yeah, he was doing all the stuff, the filters.
Chemtrails,
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Vaccines.
TBRM knows.
pesticides.
Very much in the same vein of what he was saying about Rockefeller,
JD.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he starts paying politicians. He gets involved in the railroad industry. During the Gilded Age. So this was when all of these big companies were on the rise because of the Industrial Revolution and because of the need for steel and copper, and it was making a lot of families really wealthy, and a lot of the powerful families, some of them still around today pulling strings, were birthed during this time period in America. American dynasties.
Yeah. Are we talking about French dynasties?
We're talking about
bro?
American dynasties.
We're
man.
talking about American dynasties.
I mentioned
yeah.
Napoleon, but that was just a mention.
That was a mention.
That was just a
No,
hashtag.
yeah, that was a hashtag. That was a hashtag.
Yeah.
That was an at. We added.
That was an
Napoleon.
at. There you go.
at
Yeah, a
Napoleon.
mention.
But still, yeah.
No, it's American dynasty.
Talking American, baby.
So this guy, he's paying politicians to do what he wants. The type of negotiator he was, there was an issue where Britain was starting to pull a bunch of money out of the railroads. So he brought all the big investors from Britain out on his $100 million yacht. If you can even imagine the amount of money
$100
that
million
is back then.
Oh, good lord.
So he gets them on the yacht and then refuses to port until they agree to his terms. Like literally,
The
won't
worst
let them
person
leave.
in the world.
He's just there's no length to which he won't go for what he wants. He was known to show up at the White House and walk in and demand to speak with the president, by which they let him because of his influence several times. This is who he is.
It's J.P. Morgan.
Yeah, so he makes a bunch of money during this time period. He creates the first monopoly around the railroad, and that was a big issue. Then they started going after monopolies.
This is the American Pacific Railroad. This is the giant railroad that was built
back
in the
then it
early
was tons of
1900s.
competition. And once the railroad started getting heavy
This
losses
is the one that
during
to
the first
go across
depression.
America, right? This is the
This
railroad.
all over. There were so many. You're talking about all across the country,
Yeah.
all different ways. This was the beginning of the So during the Industrial Revolution, all of these railroad companies started losing money during the first depression, and they were gonna just basically close up shop, and he would lose a lot of money. Instead, he convinced them all to let him take control of all of them, creating a monopoly of the railroads, and then he'd pay off politicians to allow what he was doing.
How did he convince him? He put them all in a
Locked
room
him
and said,
away,
"You
yeah.
can't leave until I
Yeah.
fucking get my way."
And I'm sure that room wasn't uncomfortable.
No, yeah, no, yeah. It was uncomfortable. It actually had spikes.
Oh yeah, it was the Indiana Jones
That's what it was.
thing. Yeah,
That's what it was.
And a little short round was in there, and you can't leave
You
until
can't leave
you
until you
Vote the
agree
way
with
we
Dr. JP.
Yeah. So that's just who he is. Gives you a good background, right?
Real piece of garbage. Real scumbag.
So the first story I want to tell about J.P. Morgan. This goes back to what I was saying about technology, and I have a video for it, but we don't. I'll tell you when to dive into it.
Right
It's
now.
the Tesla Tech video. If you want to get it ready. Yeah. So I don't know if a lot of people know this story. It's a really interesting story. So at some point, J.P. Morgan was partnered up with Edison, and they were working on DC power. And
Thomas or Bobart?
Thomas Edison?
Or Bobart Edison? Which Edison? You just said Edison.
I don't even know Bobart Edison.
I just made him up.
Okay, good. Because I'm like, man, I don't know how I missed Bobart, this influential electrician. No. So at the time when this was going on, so we have J.P. Morgan partnered with Edison. Yeah. And then you have Westinghouse partnered with Tesla. Yeah. Tesla was working on his own electrical engineering. And there was a family called the Rockefellers who were heavily invested in kerosene. Right now, houses were lighting all of their, all the lighting in a house and on the streets used kerosene, and it was a very lucrative industry. Yeah. So Rockefeller actually did a bunch of misinformation campaigns to say that electricity was dangerous, that it was hazardous, could kill you, that it could cause your houses to burn down, all this stuff, because he didn't want electricity. It would hurt his income on the kerosene business.
He said electricity would do all this stuff.
Right, yeah. He was against electricity because the kerosene industry was his. So he was putting out all this misinformation. This is like another form of shuttering a technology that's powerful, that's useful to humanity. We need electricity. Look at what we use it for today. But he was trying to pay people to get rid of it. Disgusting, right? But that's Rockefeller. So at this time, there's the World's Fair in Chicago, and there's a bid out to light it with electricity. And it could either go to J.P. Morgan or to Westinghouse. Westinghouse had Tesla. J.P. Morgan had
with electricity
Edison.
Or to light it?
Literally, to light it with electricity.
With
light bulbs all over
but
the whole
J.P.
thing.
Morgan against
no, not at all. No. So he was partnered with Edison for electricity. No, Rockefeller was kerosene. He didn't.
Rockefeller was kerosene.
So, but we're not talking about him anymore. It was just an interesting little story,
tidbit.
I thought.
Gotcha. All
So back to J.P. Morgan. He's partnered with Edison for electricity. They know it's the future. They know it's coming. But with all of this misinformation, 100%. So with all of this misinformation out there, though, they had to fight back against this misinformation. So they wanted to light the World's Fair with electricity to show that it was safe and that you could use it in your home. Yeah. So to do that, the World's Fair puts out a contract.
So crazy they had to promote
electricity. Oh yeah, because there was one of the richest families in the world saying it's evil. It's evil.
Misinformation campaign. Yeah. Electricity. Nah.
You don't need that.
Yeah. It sucks.
Could you imagine we were still using kerosene lamps today because of Rockefeller? If he was successful in hiding that tech,
ridiculous thing,
right?
Could you imagine?
But it happened in a different way, and we're about to get to that. So maybe electricity itself wasn't completely shuttered and hidden, but a way to generate it was. So. Westinghouse is almost bankrupt before this bid goes out because J.P. Morgan was killing them on Wall Street. He was spreading rumors and saying that they were that they were a bad investment and trying to get people to pull out, pretty much shorting them, trying to get them to collapse from within so he could win this electricity war against Westinghouse and Tesla with Edison. Yeah. Right? But Westinghouse underbids it like crazy and wins the contract. And Tesla gets to light the Chicago World's Fair with his form of DC electricity or AC electricity. So wonderful. Yay. It worked. The world sees it and is astonished. Millions of people came to the World's Fair.
I was going to say how many people attended.
Ooh, I actually have the number. 27 million people.
Oh, my God.
They were at the World's Fair. They got to see electricity for the first time, most of them.
Could you
imagine? And it was safe. And it was
first
magnificent.
Time seeing...
Dude, magic.
All
It
these
would be like magic.
Yeah. If you told them it was magic, they'd believe you.
Oh yeah, and a lot of people thought Tesla was a magician. But I thought that was an amazing story. So
That's
now,
so nuts.
J.P. Morgan sees this guy. Tesla knows what he's doing. He's a pretty smart guy. He's onto some stuff.
Yeah, this Tesla ain't dumb, man.
Tells Tesla, I'll invest in some of your other ideas. Can you do something with telecommunications? Says, of course, I can do something with telecommunications. I can build wireless telecommunications. We won't need, to run cables. We can actually speak to each other. And he even boasted that his technology would be able to send picture and sound. So he's talking about the internet.
HDMI.
Almost. It's like an early form of the internet. This is 100 years ago, and he actually built a working model of this. He comes to J.P.
Tesla
Morgan.
built a working model of
his wireless wireless power plant.
We know he has that.
We didn't see, and because it was never shown and no one knows what happened to it, we didn't get to see the device that he created that actually created free energy. Yeah. What it did, he called it etheric energy. It would pull energy from out of empty space.
I like that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He didn't know what it was yet. He didn't know how to say what it was because there was no name for it back then. But he knew how to do it, and he created a device and said 100% it worked. Then newspaper stories ran. What he was going to do is light a big fair in France from Colorado.
Yeah.
Think about that. Back then, he was going to light electricity. He was going to send electricity to France from Colorado.
So wirelessly.
And he said he could do it. And he's tested his device, and it works. Now, what did it run on? Right?
But he didn't do it.
Well, here's what happened. So they run the story about it. Then Morgan comes to him and says, hey, what is this? I thought we were working on communications. What do you mean you're going to send power wirelessly?
Don't make me take you on my boat.
Right, pretty much. And I wonder if he ever tried something like that.
Yeah,
right. But he knew how to beat Tesla. When Westinghouse was going under, Tesla signed over all his patents to Westinghouse so they didn't have to pay him royalties to keep the company afloat. He didn't care about money at all. Tesla did not care about earning a dollar. He wanted technology for the world. He wanted to make the world a better place through technology. That was his whole goal. Yeah. So he was willing to rip up his royalty contracts with Westinghouse just to help get his stuff out there.
A real like Dick Cheney type.
Yeah, good analogy. Yeah. Holy crap. Oh, like nothing further.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
That's funny. Yeah. So, so he claimed that he was able to do it, that he's tested the device, it's able to work, and it works using this etheric energy pulled out of empty space. He said, you don't need the sun. Etheric. You don't need wind. And again, solar, I don't know if everybody knows this, the first solar panels
comes from the sun
on a building in New York went up in the late 1800s. So solar power is not new. This is old. They had solar panels on buildings.
First working solar panel?
Oh, yeah. This was a
solar panel came up in
the late 1800s in New York. There was buildings that had solar panels where they could run their building on solar panels back in the 1800s. Yeah, electric cars, same thing. There were electric cars with the ability to go 100 miles on one charge in the 1800s, early 1900s. That's silly, right? There's tons of videos and pictures, and you can get all the info on that.
Model T shit,
right? Exactly. They didn't run on gas. They ran on electricity. And they worked, and they held charges for 100 miles. Yeah. Absurd. There's pictures, you can see entire fleets of cars plugged into the walls. But anyway, that's different technology. It's another conversation.
Another conversation with other
time. Right. So he comes up with this device that can pull energy out of the etheric, out of the ether.
Ethereal.
Yeah. And exactly. It doesn't need wires. It doesn't need copper wire to run. Doesn't need fossil fuels to run. It can run nonstop, 24/7, all the time, whether the sun's up or not, whether it's windy or not. It doesn't need any of that. It's using what's called quantum energy. So he shows this to JP Morgan now, and he goes, oh, no. I told you I wanted a telecommunications device. I own copper mines. I refine it. I make copper wire for a living. This is one of my major businesses is copper wire to send electricity and communications. This is my infrastructure. I would go bankrupt with something like this.
Yeah.
So he pulls the funding before he can complete his work. Not only that, it convinces every other investor that he had in his pocket.
I was going to say, Tesla couldn't go to someone else.
No one else would give him money because JP Morgan said, if you give him money, then you're on my bad side. And that was enough. He was a very powerful person. He probably convinced congressmen and lobbied to make sure that they would consider this to be dangerous technology.
Mr. Tesla, I understand.
Yeah.
This technology you're telling me about. I get it.
It's free energy. Or how he was German, I think.
No, I like what you did.
Yeah, okay. It's a free energy. We're going to pull the energy out of the ethereal plane. You never need a fossil fuel again. With no more hands tied.
So this is maybe the most amazing development.
The most amazing.
History.
It's no more poverty. Poverty is solved. I had solved poverty and war. We no longer need to fight for resources. We can all become one.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not only going to unite all of us.
All of us.
As a people.
And end war and poverty.
End war and poverty.
Yes.
And probably gonorrhea.
My life's work.
Yeah. So all you need is some funding.
Literally, my first device cost $100,000 to make. That's all I need. Is maybe 50,000 more.
Fucking millionaire.
You have so much money, you won't even notice it. You fall asleep and make this in a day.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
JP, what's up, brother?
How is it going? Dum dum dum.
Yeah, it's going good, dude. It's going good. I'm just here with Nicola.
I'm gonna do him like Dracula.
Okay.
To what do I owe this pleasure?
You called me.
Oh, no. Did I?
Yeah, JP, you called
Oh, yes.
me.
You're there with Tesla now?
Yeah, Tesla's right here.
Can he hear us?
Yeah. No. You want me to put him on the phone?
No. Don't put him on the phone. Tell him no money. No money. Never. No money.
One second,
ever.
Mr. Tesla. What do you mean no money? He literally can change the fucking world.
Right. And then we all go broke. You want to be broke? You want to go back to living in squalor? You are a powerful man, and I can keep you that way. You shut this technology down now.
But sure, I hope you understand. This is life changing. This could change the entire fucking.
I'm
world.
hanging up now. Don't make me come and suck your blood.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Your boat. That'd be great. You say when? Yeah. No, that'd be lovely. Sounds like a good time. All right. Well, I gotta go. I know you want to stay talking, but I gotta go. All right. Love you.
Cannot
see you,
be completed as dialed.
Okay. Well, you're crazy. All right. I gotta go. Though. I'm busy. Sorry, Mr.
I
Morgan.
can hear the beeping through the phone.
Okay.
I know you're not talking to anybody.
So,
no, I heard.
okay.
It's fine. Yeah. So pretty much
Can't
that
give you the
happened
money,
with
yeah.
every investor.
yeah.
And
Times this conversation by 20.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and then they
Nicola
go
just
around using the media to smear him, saying that he's a charlatan. Even though he had tested the device, people have seen it work. People that have worked for him knew it worked. They did a smear campaign saying that he was a complete charlatan. Everything he said is a lie. He can't do what he said he can do. Even though the big tower in New York would fire off and it would light bulbs up to 200 miles away. They
200
tested it.
miles.
Yeah, think about that, man. Remember, he was going to
Sarah
light
Van
France.
Bergen
Yeah,
said, "Imagine where we would be if we had that energy.
free energy since then.
Yeah,
for
the free
100
energy.
years.
Since then,
People could have advanced that
By the way,
technology
Sarah,
for
what's
100
up?
years.
So
Yeah,
good to see you.
Welcome, Sarah. Unreal. Yeah, so we lost out on that, and that's really the end of the story. I could go on about what happened after this and why we still don't have it and why nobody knows how to remake this technology.
Yeah.
It has to do with the FBI following him and stealing his
Actually,
files.
I want to hear all of it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it on Crash Talk Thursday.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we can get deep into that on Crash
Yeah,
Talk. Good
let's
idea.
dive in a little bit on
so
Crash Talk.
I'll just end this story there. Here, play this video.
Got you.
And just play it right from the beginning. Tesla Tech shuttered.
Say less, dude.
Yeah, man. This kind of gives you just a quick summary of the story I told you.
Oh shit.
That's not it.
Oh yeah. Spaghettius. All right, cool. Well, let's switch this so they don't give away what my topic is.
Good idea.
Yeah. So I thought I
Man,
switched this.
how funny that phone call though. Made JP Morgan Dracula. That's fun.
Oh, it's
Here we go. No, that's not it.
No, that's not it. I'll tell you what.
You
This
know.
is it.
Okay. Yes, here you go.
mentioned earlier that one of the reasons
Oh, they were
why,
watching that. Oops.
maybe these
is
conversations
it.
are not being had.
No, but they said
Oh.
this
the
version. It
industries
doesn't
would take
matter.
a big hit. And so to control it, I think it's a quote you gave about when Tesla was able to build a car without an engine or without a battery. And I think he was talking to an entrepreneur at the time. I don't know if it was Edison or Ford. Who was it he was talking
He was talking to JP Morgan.
He was talking to
So,
JP Morgan.
Tesla actually had a prototype car.
And this is Stephen Greer.
that was
He's done a
pulling
lot of
energy
research in
out
this
of
in this
the
area,
I've
so I
seen this
trust
environment.
what he says when it comes to this subject.
And he didn't
knows
really
a lot
understand
about
what
it.
that was. We do now. It's called 0-point energy or quantum vacuum energy.
This was his etherical energy.
But basically, just for people who are non-scientific,
Not me. I'm scientific, so not talking about me. But so was that phrase coined after he passed, or did
Which
Tesla
phrase?
coin the phrase? Because he called it ethereal.
Yes.
Was the quantum energy after he died?
Way after.
Okay.
It took a long time before people even
I
knew
was
that
gonna
this
say
stuff
quantum.
existed.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
not scientists.
But
If
it
you
existed.
visualize a coffee cup, the amount of space inside that cup has enough energy to boil off all the oceans of the planet
Think about it.
in its potential. And it's called the 0-point energy field. It's been
Is
quantified.
that Captain America shield?
It was in academic papers in the 50s, so-called Professor Casimir effect. But Tesla stumbled across this way back, early 20s, I believe, maybe before. But JP Morgan said, look, if we can't put a meter on it, we don't want it.
That's
If we can't put
So,
a meteor
yeah,
on it,
you
we
can
don't
stop
want
it there.
Very
That just
bitter
shows you
man.
exactly.
I
That's
always
a
joke that
perfect
Elon
way to
Musk
describe
doesn't
it.
have a-
He can't meter it. It's free energy. How does he make money off of that? Why would I give you money and fund you to build something that I can't make a money? Because it's going to change the world for humankind.
Yeah, you piece of shit.
Be a part of this amazing breakthrough. Your name will forever be remembered, and you will forever be remembered as the person who solved it.
Okay, you got all these copper fucking things and stuff.
Infrastructure,
yeah. How about you just put all your money into Tesla and this brilliant technology? So he wasn't afraid that it didn't work, that it'd be buggy.
Nope.
He was just like, oh, I already have this, so
yeah,
that's it.
That's it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's like the way we're doing it, and now again, the idea of 0-point energy is still something people have been working on. And dude, when I told you when I was researching this topic and I came across some folks that have actually solved it after Tesla, even had devices that worked better than his, they're all missing.
Oh, I'd assume so at this
they're
point.
All dead.
Shit. Really?
In their 30s and 40s. All one was poisoned.
Mysterious bullshit.
One was poisoned. One found he shot himself in his room. So it's
in
always
the back of the head.
Yeah, fake suicide.
Wait, what?
One guy was dead in his car at the airport on the way to a meeting.
Another guy stabbed himself in the back 14 times.
No, dude, there is weird shit like that. Yeah, with
like
strangle marks on his neck. He killed himself, strangled himself.
He still has the tape around his fucking hands.
Heart attacks and cancers that were so aggressive, people would die within 3 weeks of getting a diagnosis.
So Sarah said it's not profitable to... it was less profitable to do the quantum energy than to have the copper and all the bullshit.
Not if you're in the energy business. Definitely not profitable. But guess what? You could probably turn that into something extremely profitable.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's not how they played, man. That's not how they played back then. And they didn't have the vision. Do you think they had vision? They knew what they knew about what they knew about.
They had
just wanted
Paul
the
Bettany.
dollar. That's all they wanted.
They
there's no vision. No Mind Stone. Lack of Mind Stone for sure. And foresight. So this is one reason why I feel like he is single-handedly set us back 100 years, even before he knew he did. By hiding this and making sure this technology would never see the light of day, and then people followed in these footsteps, even government followed in hiding this stuff because there was so many partnerships with corporations that needed to make money this way off of the way we make energy today. We still do it.
It sounded like you were about to do an accent. It sounded like you were about to do the accent again. The
Tesla. Tesla. Yeah, I can't believe I made him an Italian guy. That's hilarious.
It.
Good.
So,
whatever.
What's this next video we got?
So so this is the second story. It's my last story that I thought was very interesting about JP Morgan, and this might be a theory that plenty of you have heard, and if you haven't, it's a really fun one. We'll read Sarah's first. I think this is going to be what opens our mind to other realms, like spiritual realms. I can't see it anymore.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's funny. I'm trying to do other stuff.
Okay. That there is another reality where this etheric energy comes from, the ethereal realm. What do you guys think? Yes. Spiritually, the more I learn about science and where it's taken us, and the more science has taught us, the more it proves that spirituality isn't magic. It's real. There is a direct correlation between knowledge and spiritualism and technology. The more we learn, the more it proves all of these things were real. What you're talking about, Sarah, is, and if you know about this, the Akashic Records, it's something that ancient Hindus believed in, that there was a singular consciousness, that every idea ever thought of, that anyone ever thinks of, actually sits in one central area. And we can tap into that by meditation or through spirituality. And that can give us inspiration and ideas, and we can learn things from this etheric library almost. The more we learn, the more this stuff becomes reality. And the more science proves that these things exist. So yeah, I agree with that point, Sarah. It's true.
You like it?
So this next theory is a very fun one. So we've all seen the movie Titanic, yes?
Duh.
Well, the company that owned Titanic was owned by JP Morgan, White Star Lines,
Yes.
So these guys, they had...
I know where you're going with this.
Right. So they had a couple ships. There wasn't just one Titanic. There was the Olympic, there was the Britannic, and the Titanic. The Olympic was the first, the Titanic was the second, the Britannic was the third. That was the youngest sister, if you will, of the three ships.
And I like your theory, Sarah. Just my point of view.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
So there is a theory out there that the night the Titanic sunk, it wasn't actually the Titanic. It was the Olympic. and it was sunk, and it was supposed to sink intentionally, but a series of unfortunate events turned it into a real tragedy. JP Morgan himself was supposed to be on that ship that night.
What do you mean it was supposed to sink intentionally?
I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
I'll explain all. But I'm just giving a
Reveal
summary.
all.
Yes, this is just a summary of the theory.
Okay.
That the ships were switched last minute intentionally, and that JP Morgan was supposed to be on that boat that night, and he last minute said, "Actually, never mind. I'm not going. I'm sick."
Yeah.
But they found him in Italy with his mistress
Sick.
during the time of the voyage, so they knew that he wasn't sick. It was a lie.
So the Olympic was a ship that previously it was decommissioned, right? Because they were fixing it up or whatever, right?
Yeah, so the Olympic the Titanic and the Olympic were almost twins.
They were sister ships.
They were sister ships.
Yep.
They looked almost exactly alike,
Yep.
Except for a few little details.
Few little deets.
The problem with the Olympic is it got into an accident. While the Titanic was still being built, it got into a shipwreck with a Navy vessel. Yeah. And I have a video of it, the Olympic crash. And this starts to lead us into why this theory or why people believe this theory, that the ships were switched.
Curious.
Was
This is
the
51
moon landing
seconds.
an elaborate fabrication?
51
Oh,
seconds.
Well,
go
after
in 51
considerable research, her
seconds.
younger sister,
Go in 51 and begin.
Here we
the
go.
tugboat LL Hollenbach, was sucked into Olympic and scraped her hull down a considerable length of the ship. It was disappointing.
This is one
and
of
a
the
scar
first
on a young
accidents it
miner.
got into.
Olympic continued her career smoothly until the
Those
English
straight marks
warship,
just like the
HMS
Titanic.
Hobb,
Exactly.
accidentally pierced her side. This was considerable
Ooh,
damage,
does that look
and she had to
familiar?
cancel her next voyage. These damages were not without consequence, and the
Yeah.
White Star Line knew how expensive it could
Was
be
it
to
an
fix
iceberg?
them. To add
All
insult
right,
to
you can
injury,
stop
the
it
White
there.
Star Line lost the.
So let's get into the theory
spread.
and why people believe this happened. The Olympic, as we just saw, it got into this accident where the hull got ripped open.
Yeah.
It was unfortunately with a Navy vessel. And so when they go to have the investigation conducted, the Navy conducts the investigation. And they decide that they're not at fault. Therefore, insurance will not pay.
Surprise, fucking surprise.
Yeah. So JP Morgan now won't get insurance payouts to fix the boat. He's going to have to come out of pocket to do that.
So it's
right?
like if I murder you and
Yeah.
I'm the lead detective on your
it's
case.
a total conflict.
I don't know. I don't think he did it.
Yeah, exactly. Sounds innocent to me.
No motive.
Yeah.
But no, he literally owed him $20,000. Yeah, I just don't see it.
Yeah, not a good motive.
Yeah, not good enough.
But
Ridiculous.
it's just absurd.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, but and JP Morgan thought so as well. So now they have a ship that they can't really use that's already been in this accident that they can't get paid for to be fixed.
That's a good segue.
Well-
JP Morgan thought so as well.
Right. Well, so before the Titanic's maiden voyage, it goes to a dry dock. Now, there was only one dry dock big enough to fit a ship the size of the Olympic or the Titanic. And the Olympic was there getting repairs done, and the Titanic was there getting completed.
It was in France.
And it was in Belfast.
I guessed.
Yeah. So so this is kind of the beginning of this conspiracy.
Belfast, Germany. for
So
the
guys that worked from where? What?
Belfast, Germany.
Yeah. So in Belfast, Ireland, just in case you believed him.
No, if you thought I was serious.
Yeah, there were these dry docks, and the Olympic and the Titanic were being switched out, and the Titanic only needed 2 more days before it was supposed to get out of there. But for some reason, it was there for 4 days, being switched out with the Olympic constantly. So if there was a time to make a switcheroo, that was it.
That would be it.
Pictures taken of the Olympic after this time actually shows that the two ships became more like twins. Those subtle differences, the amount of portholes here, things like that, were now the exact same as the Titanic. So now the two ships are starting to look very similar.
And it even said on the side, it said Olympic, and then they crossed it out with a big X and wrote Titanic.
Right, pretty much. Well, so there'd only be a few changes you'd have to make. And some of the guys in Belfast that worked on these boats, this is where the rumor and conspiracy theory comes
Mind you, this is Belfast in Malaysia.
from. Yeah, could you imagine? Yeah, this ship got all around the world, even before it was seaworthy, apparently. So these guys that worked on the ship, they're the ones who
Central
actually came forward on their deathbeds. There's a couple people that told their family members or that did a deathbed confession saying that they switched these boats. And that's where the theory comes from. Now, we know JP Morgan's mindset. We talked a little bit about his background, things he's done. Does this seem out of the realm of possibility to you that a man like him would switch these ships and sink one intentionally
Nope.
for an insurance payout?
Nope.
No.
That seems very in character.
Yeah, and that's why it becomes a viable conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
So some more evidence here. The California, which was the boat that was nearby when the Titanic sank.
That was the first one on scene, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that ship was also owned by J.P. Morgan, and it was.
What doesn't this guy own?
Yeah, right. At one point, he owned 2/3 of the American GDP. Think about that. Think about that. That was him.
What the?
I know. Yeah, he was absurdly wealthy.
That's not a thing. Is that a thing?
It's a thing. That's a true. That's an actual statistic on him. So
2/3.
2/3. Yeah, that's a sick number.
Yeah, it
but
doesn't make sense in
the
my
president
brain.
went after monopolies, went after him in a huge way,
Yeah.
regardless of how many walks to the White House he did. The president held fast on a lot of these policies that ended up breaking up monopolies and diminishing his wealth a lot.
Held fast, which is actually in Ireland.
Yeah, there you go. Held fast. They were fixing it and held fast. So they're here in Ireland and they're trying to fix the ship.
Yeah.
And they realize that for some reason on the Olympic, it has the same amount of portholes now as the Titanic.
Why did you commission me to change the goddamn portals?
I
There's
told
no
you.
reason
We
for
want the
this.
ships to be twins. Why do we want this? I can't tell you. Just do the damn
Why do we
work.
need the goddamn similarities?
Just do the
Let
work.
the Olympic be the Olympic. Let the Titanic be the goddamn Titanic.
Well, I'm glad actually we went back to the Ireland stuff because there is one more little interesting tidbit here.
I'm staying in Ireland now.
Yeah, so
I'm not leaving.
Yeah, so while they were in Ireland, again, people from Ireland that worked on these ships said that they had made the switcheroo. Now, when the ship goes from Ireland to Southampton, where it's going to make its maiden voyage from, right?
Yeah.
The crew that was on the Titanic said that there was a huge fire, and if you were working in the engine room on one of these boats, you'd know if it was brand new equipment or not. Of
course,
right?
of course.
So the entire crew, when they get to where they're going after this first voyage, they all quit and they wouldn't work on that ship. The entire crew quit. And that's a little strange because this was during a coal crisis.
That's a lot strange.
Where most of these guys couldn't find
Needed
work.
a fucking job. Yeah.
So why were they all now quitting? Refusing to get back on that boat?
Yeah.
And that would match up with the damage done to the ship if it was the Olympic. Okay. So I'm glad we went back to that.
What were they afraid of? Who wanted you dead, Goldie? Who wanted you dead? Was it JP? You didn't trust the equipment? What was it? God damn it, tell me the answer.
You didn't trust the equipment.
Yeah.
For sure.
That was old.
Dude, during the test, there was a where they were actually getting certified and licensed. There was a hull fire that was so bad, but they never went and checked the engine room. They just certified it and said, "No, you're good." After a few hours.
Is that what it was, Goldie? Was it the
probably
whole
paid.
fire? Did you get paid off?
I'm pretty sure.
What was it? You thought you couldn't trust the equipment because it was old?
They're
or
like,
it was
"Oh, the
supposed to be
Olympic
new?"
works fine. You saw that one. This is the same.
This ain't the goddamn same.
They didn't even push it to full throttle. They didn't make any maneuvers in it. The guys just certified it. And after a few hours, they're like, "Okay, let's go to lunch."
Ridiculous.
Absurd. Okay, so the California, I thought this was a really interesting part of this conspiracy. The California had no coal. This was during a coal crisis, and it was docked. And apparently, all of a sudden, it found coal right before the Titanic was set sail.
All of what? All of a sudden? What'd you say?
All of a sudden?
It's all of a sudden.
That's what I said.
Have you
yeah.
ever heard people say all the sudden?
No, that would be weird.
I hear it all the time. and
Really?
It kills me.
I've never heard it, but that
You
does
never
sound silly.
You probably heard it, just didn't realize you assumed they were saying all of a sudden.
Or it wouldn't even stick
Just
out
check
in
it out.
my
Ready?
mind if I heard it.
So I was
honestly.
walking down the street, all of a sudden somebody came up.
Yeah.
You couldn't even tell.
It wouldn't bother me.
Which
yeah.
one did I say?
I wouldn't even notice, and nor is it an important part of what you're telling me.
it
So I would have just let it
infuriates me.
pass by. Yeah.
The blood boils
You
under
gotta
my
let it.
flesh
Just,
when
you
I
gotta
hear
let
it.
stuff like that go. That's too
So
much
all
to
of a
worry
sudden-
about. Yeah, it's too much anxiety to have over
Yeah.
that.
So I was walking down the street, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
blood vessels pop.
Well, okay. Well, wait, where was I? Oh, so the California all of a sudden gets enough coal for a voyage, but there's no one on the ship. You know what they have instead? 3,000 wool blankets and freaking jackets.
Yeah.
Why would you have that unless you were maybe doing a rescue mission for a bunch of people that were about to get stranded in the cold?
That you knew were about to get stranded.
Right. JP Morgan owned that ship, got it coal, and sent it off with no passengers.
Okay,
Just-
all jokes aside, though, what didn't he own?
He really
Did he
owned-
really just own everything?
He owned so much. Yeah. He was, he was a tycoon. He was a monster. But that's why I picked him. He truly had, at his time, he had his hands in everything. So the California just happens to be exactly on the path of the Titanic. When there's the iceberg warnings, no other ship stops in the area except the California holds fast on pretty much directly on the pathway of the Titanic, which is another, people think that's because it knew the Titanic was about to feign some sort of issue and sink, right? And have a problem for insurance purposes. Unfortunately, there was what were called black icebergs. You can't see those. There was a moonless night that night. You couldn't see the waves crashing against it. and they put no additional men on the bow to be able to spot these things out. And we know what happened.
Jack and Rose were kissing.
Right. And could you imagine those two guys? I love that that's what that would in the movie. That's how they didn't see it.
Clever.
It's like, hey, buddy, look at these two kissing over here. Forget the iceberg warning. Let's watch a kissing scene. Like
turn that way. I'm a Jericho off.
Yeah.
Oh, did I go too far?
Yeah, that's rough. But
the California. So you know what they say about the California?
Go ahead.
It knows how to party. California knows how to party. In the city. In the city. End of this joke.
So the California might have been in on it. The captain himself might have been in on it. But if you don't subscribe to this theory, there was a recent documentary that found new evidence in the destruction of the Titanic that kind of looks like some of this might be true.
It's a recent
documentary
about Titanic,
yeah,
and the Olympic, about this theory, about this conspiracy.
What's it about? They're not connecting it to this theory at all.
What's it about?
That's the next video.
Tell me everything. Tell me everything now.
Titanic Fire in the Hull. I thought
Fire in the Hull.
Yeah.
Oh, clever.
That's not what they named it.
Oh, that's what you named.
Yeah, that's what I named it.
Oh, clever. And if you hold fast.
And it's from the beginning.
That's actually,
dude, I'm surprised you didn't make all of these. Like, wow, this theory doesn't hold water, or what?
Oh, all the puns.
Let me float some ideas to you. Yeah, that kind of stuff. I was waiting to see if you did a few. We're still in it. You still have time.
Well, you took like two of the best.
I know, those are the good ones.
Those were the good ones. Well, that blows.
From the beginning on this one. Yeah, go ahead.
From the beginning?
Yep.
Okay. All right, let's set sail.
Century after the Titanic sank in the North Atlantic, there are new clues to the cause of the disaster. Researchers say it wasn't just ice, but fire.
Ooh.
Here's Mark Phillips.
I see what they're talking about.
The documentary gives a new twist to an old story.
And yet her maiden voyage would be her last.
So sad.
Everybody knows why the Titanic went down. She hit an
Jack and
iceberg,
Rose.
and despite being supposedly designed as unsinkable, she sank and took 1,500 lives with her. But that, the filmmakers say, isn't the whole story. The whole story involves a fire that had been smoldering for days in one of the vessel's cold storage bunkers.
Maybe this is why the guys quit.
Yeah.
A fire whose heat may have severely
They
weakened
knew this
the ship
was
and
an
hastened
imminent
its
issue.
sinking. The new theory comes from recently discovered old photos of the Titanic's launching.
Check this out.
Yes.
Irish journalist Senna Maloney had been working on the fire theory for years.
The fire theory.
He says the dark
Look at
patch
that.
on
I've
the
been working on
Titanic's
the fire
hull
theory.
shows
See
the
that?
coal was burning.
Does that look
even
like in
as
a
the ship
specific
was
place
being launched.
that we saw it get hit?
Somebody had a hole in it.
Forward bulkhead, but also may have
Dude, the
caused
shirt
that
he's
severe
wearing,
deformity
yes.
to the hull, and the ship put to sea with an out-of-control fire that required 12 men to try and tackle it for most of the maiden voyage.
So you can
The
stop it
coal
now.
fire was
So
known about
yeah,
at
that
the time.
picture's. I mean, that speaks 1,000 words. If this theory is correct, there was possibly major issues with the Olympic after the accident, and they tried to cover it up. And when the guys working on the ship found out that this stuff doesn't work very well, they all quit.
Yeah.
The crew was all brought in brand new.
Nobody, like the new crew didn't ask the old crew, what are you doing?
Yeah, there you go. We're getting there. And after the ship sinks, the few crew members that did survive, instead of being reunited with their families when they got back to port from being rescued, they were held for 24 hours and a complete blackout on any press.
What?
A top executive from White Star came out.
What was
and
the
a member of the
official
government.
reason for this?
For holding them?
Yeah.
There was none. They even took mug shots of them, almost in an intimidation factor.
Oh, shit. Totally
Each one of them had
intimidation
and they looked so scared in it, and they were not allowed to say a word about what happened and not allowed to talk to the press. So was there a cover up here?
Could they see their family?
JP Morgan last minute decides not to get on the boat. There were very rich men on that boat that were all in opposition to JP Morgan around the Federal Reserve issue that was coming up at the time. He thinks that they think that he was able to kill 1,500 birds with one stone, with one iceberg. The plan obviously was not to hit an iceberg like that, but to probably have a smaller accident happen,
Or even like fake it
California would be
entirely.
nearby.
Oh, guys, we got boat's going down. Yeah.
Let that engine fire, take out the hull a little bit. California was standing by. They don't send a distress signal out for about 35 minutes after they get hit.
Weird.
Yeah, which is absurd. So it's a sad story.
Were those guys watching Jack and Rose kiss also?
Right. Yeah. Everybody was. It was busy.
Yeah.
That night, unfortunately, the boats were loaded half full. In the movie, it was because they showed that the upper class didn't want to mix with the lower class. Conspiracy theorists,
Which I get.
Here believe it's because the crew knew that there was, the people in charge knew that there was a rescue imminent and that they didn't really have to worry about it. That's why they didn't have enough ships for everybody. They didn't.
They thought they were Gucci.
Yeah, they thought they were, but they got hit way earlier than they were supposed to, and the damage was way worse.
And then once the captain realized it, he's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I can't go back and face. I can't look at myself in the mirror after what I just did. And he goes down.
Ocean.
Toe.
Just ocean.
Oh, okay. Ocean.
It's a pun. Yeah, I was doing another pun.
Astronaut in the ocean.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude. Wow.
Indeed, moving on. That's. I'm gonna leave it there. There's a lot more evidence to this theory. Do I believe it personally? It's probably not true, honestly. There's also a lot of evidence to the contrary, but it's an interesting thought, and it's something this guy was truly capable of. Thank you. One last thing I thought was interesting. We know that JP Morgan had his issues with Tesla, pulled funding, and tried to make him look like an idiot and a liar and make sure nobody would do business with him and that his inventions would never see the light of day. Well, did you know JP Morgan is actually suing the company Tesla right now? So it seems JP Morgan and Tesla are still at odds.
He was dead.
He is, but the bank.
He is.
So I sent you a clip just so you guys out there, if you don't know about this.
Another clip.
Tesla is in a legal battle with JP Morgan.
Elon Musk is...
Oh, this is from the beginning?
Yeah.
Beefing with JP Morgan. Since 2014, JP Morgan has been in a contract with Tesla that allows them to purchase shares at a specific price. The bank was patient even when Musk was tweeting that he would take Tesla private. But now they want their shares or cash, and they're demanding $162 million in damages.
That's a lot of millions.
Tesla, however, is ignoring the request, and Elon responded, threatening JP Morgan with a 1-star Yelp review. Since then, hundreds of Tesla fans have done just that, forcing Yelp to deactivate new reviews at the bank. It seems like Elon has a tough time staying out of hot water.
Right. So yeah, so we're still seeing
hot
water, another one. This guy didn't even know. He didn't know how well you did.
You're part of the puns, mother trucker.
So these were just two of the many.
Oh, you don't believe in ghost stories?
You're in
one.
Yeah. Miss Turner.
Yeah.
You're in one. Great. I love him in those movies.
Woman. Yeah, you like him.
I do, man.
She's so
Kira? Yeah, she looks great in those.
Why?
Yeah,
Cameron,
they did a good job. But the acting, bro.
Are you in love with me?
Tell
me that's not a good impression of her. Oh my God, Cameron.
With the chin?
Oh my God.
With the chin.
Love me.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of plastic surgeons go and ask for the Keira Knightley chin.
Yeah, plastic surgeons do, or their customers.
So, did you know that a bunch of people that
go
want
to their
plastic surgery go to their plastic surgeons and ask for the Keira Knightley chin?
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Including plastic surgeons themselves.
Could you imagine they go to their people, like the people that work there with them, like, I need this chin.
But I'm
people will
just
trust
your
me.
Secretary. Damn it, do the chin.
That's why Botched is a show.
Is a show. Dude, that show's so good. Eesh. I love both those doctors.
That's rough, man. But that's JP Morgan. Just a couple instances of conspiracies he's wrapped up in, some things that he was involved in, and some things that we don't have because of him.
He was actually in like a murder story, and he didn't even believe it. People have said, he said, "Do you know you're part of a murder investigation?"
Yeah.
And like, what? He's like, "I don't believe in murder investigations." He's like, "You should.
You're in one.
You're in one." Stupid. Longest build up.
Yeah, I was like, damn, this is going on. I wonder what it is.
Where's my drum sting? No. There.
There we go. Even that was a long build up. Oh man. So that's that's JP Morgan. We could talk more about him in some future episodes, maybe on Crash Talk. This guy had his hands in
5 p.m.
in everything. He's the Monopoly guy. Why do you think there's railroads on the board? He was the Monopoly guy.
He's a Monopoly guy.
Yeah. Did you know he had no monocle? The Monopoly guy.
Yeah,
that's weird.
That's part of the
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect.
Yeah.
To the Mandela effect. Oh.
Yeah.
But
my segment. Yeah, there you go.
No, for your segment.
Yeah. Oh, that poor guy that fell off the top rafters.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's JP Morgan. I'm excited to hear what you're going to talk about today.
There was a guy when he was falling off the Titanic, and he was like,
I know. I saw in the movie, actually, the guy that falls and then hits the bars on the way.
Oh,
that's
the poor guy.
Worst.
That's the worst. Seeing that would even be tough. To be that guy. No. Yeah, horrible.
And then into a negative 20-degree water.
Yeah.
Just to make it feel better. Yeah. And it feels like cement when you hit from that height.
Yeah,
so it's just all hell.
Just literal hell.
Yeah.
Hopefully he died on impact.
Yeah, that was the guy that designed the whole conspiracy. He was the guy
he's the one
behind
who
it.
put it up. He's the one who's like, hey, JP.
Don't worry, this is easy peasy.
I got an idea, to make a couple extra bucks.
And guess what? I'm going to be standing at the top of the bow when this happens.
I'm going to say, baby, I'm the king of the world. Cut to.
Oh, man, 100%.
So
good.
Yeah. So I'm doing.
Okay. Yeah.
Not that. Here's what I'm doing.
Oh. Who could it be?
The motherfucking Hammer family.
Oh, yeah. Jeez Louise.
The Hammers.
Yep.
The Hammers.
Yeah, MC Hammer, man. He had a lot of money, but just gave it all away. I mean,
but
he
people don't
went
understand
broke.
his family and their legacy.
But you were going to do the dance today, I thought.
Well, of course. That's at the end. That comes later.
That comes later, yeah.
So
No
the
time.
Hammer family, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The Hammer family has become much more popular in the news due to one of the sons getting into a little hot water.
Oh, well, yeah.
Back to yours. Getting a little hot water, and there was a girl named Sarah who typed something. What did she say?
Sarah says, maybe the Mandela effect is our brains trying to create one image with two images. For instance, the Monopoly guy and Mr. Peanut. Like a phenomenon when time, images, similarities, and nostalgia mix. 100%. Some of these are definitely that.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But some of them seem like someone's playing with something.
Yeah. But no, for sure.
No, but that's a great theory on that one specifically, for sure.
No, absolutely.
It's definitely the Peanut guy.
Yeah. Yes. So the entire Hammer family has been doing terrible things for a long time, which was documented on that HBO about 9 months ago.
Oh, the
on
documentary?
That HBO Discovery Plus House of Hammer documentary.
Yeah, that's a good one if you haven't seen that, guys.
Definite trigger warning for all of this material. It's real rough stuff.
Yeah.
Real rough stuff. But
time to cover the children's ears. Maybe.
Earmuffs them chitlins. So let's see here.
Chitlins.
Yeah, it's a good term.
Elon Musk is beefing.
Shh, don't fucking yell at me, dude.
Yeah, man. You had one good joke.
Yeah.
You don't get to just interrupt the show.
Okay, so it is in order now. Cool.
Okay.
All right. So now we're on to this. Okay. To business. Oh, no. There she goes. Is this mine? Yes, this
Has
is
to
mine.
be. Yeah.
We both have a Discovery Plus one, so it's like.
Oh,
yes,
really? That's silly.
Yeah. All right. Let me find my thumbnails.
Yeah.
Or my timestamps.
Hammer family. Yeah, man. A lot of people have been talking about them for a little while now. Yeah. That guy had everything going for him.
Oh, yeah.
He was getting every big role. Not that the movies were doing well.
Oh, we'll get there.
Okay,
we'll
good.
get there, brother.
Exciting.
Okay, so ready? So there's just a little taste-a-rooney of these people and what I'm going to be diving into on this fine eve.
Perfect family, but abuser. This behavior is deep-rooted.
Wow.
Psycho.
On the outside, we were a perfect family, but magnify Succession 1,000,000 times, and it was my family. If you believe about making deals with the devil, the Hammers are top of the totem pole. Every generation in my family has been involved in dark misdeeds, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. I know my grandfather had a dark side.
Yep.
But I saw my father's dark side firsthand.
Julian.
And I've seen my brother's dark
Michael.
side. It was like a monster unleashed. Now it's Armie.
So this is the sister.
It's just
The aunt of the
generation.
sister of Michael and the aunt of
The hammers
Armie?
control me my whole life. It's time to stop. I refuse to be silenced.
Oh, wow. It must take a lot.
My name is Casey Hammer, and I'm about to reveal the dark, twisted secrets of the Hammer family.
Jess says,
the men in that family are sick, and she's
yeah.
absolutely right.
Dude.
She's absolutely right. So
that's the documentary, yeah.
Yep, that's the Hammer family, baby. So that's the documentary that recently came out on HBO and Discovery. Pardon me. So it started with Julius, and then went to Armand, or Armand, I guess I should say. Then followed to his son Julian.
Mm-hmm.
Then
and
Julian's
Armand
son
Hammer,
Michael.
nothing to do with Armand Hammer, right? The brand.
So he was actually named after the brand.
That's so silly.
Yep.
How funny.
So because the brand was sort of Russian propaganda in the fact that, so you know, like
right, the hammer and sickle.
So Armand Hammer was representing the elite and like the fighting warrior, and then the peasant
Strength
with the sickle.
and
So Armand Hammer
power.
was a sneaky way of doing that, and that's why they named Armand Hammer.
To kind of give him like a powerful presence just in his name.
In his name.
That's so interesting.
Which, names are everything, right?
Yeah, it's true, man.
Yep. And it's one of the top oil companies in the world still to this day.
Oh,
it's
wow.
ranked 183rd when they just did
on
2021's Fortune 500
We
list.
know they make money.
Yep. So he ran it from 57 until 1990 when he died.
Okay.
He also was named Lenin's chosen capitalist by the press. Yeah, and we'll get into that about that. So he was known for his art collection and his ties to the Soviet Union. So Occidental Petroleum, the largest independent oil company in the world, and itself the owner of a giant subsidiary of companies, including vital areas such as food production, chemicals, vital and very important stuff.
These guys love owning those types of companies. Things you need.
Things that everybody needs.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, absolutely. So Dr. Hammer, as he was preferred to be called, even though he doesn't use his doctorate.
Oh, that's
he
hilarious.
Does have a doctorate.
Okay.
And there may be a reason why he doesn't use his doctorate that we'll get to.
Okay.
He's also the owner of Hammer and Nodal Galleries, which is one of the top art dealers in the world.
Huh.
Or in America specifically, but in the world, it's up there. And he's the chairman of the Armand Hammer Foundation, oddly enough.
Okay.
Which donates millions of dollars every year to different charitable.
Oh yeah, they love doing
causes.
the philanthropy too.
They have to.
Yeah,
it's part of the little gimmick.
The
right?
image and
What-
the parties and all of that. The
Julian-
mixing with the elites. Yeah.
Alicia Julian's a terrible name. We're not going to get into it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, she likes the Strokes, Julian Casablancas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Strokes are good.
I'm sure he's cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a great guy.
I like the song "The Stroke." That's a good one.
Is that by the Strokes?
No, not at all.
Good.
Billy Squire.
Is that who?
That's who. Yeah,
sings
does
that?
the song. Yeah,
Okay.
he does that. Lonely is the night.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
The most remarkable thing about Armand probably is that he created his personal empire by negotiating extraordinary deals with nations that usually have been hostile to the United States.
Of course.
Yeah, and even American capitalism in general. So, the son of one of the founders of the American Communist Labor Party.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Hammer became a multi-millionaire capitalist thanks to, in large part, to his relations with the leaders of the Soviet Union.
Okay.
So he's just a dope dude.
Yeah.
Just a dope dude.
Right.
So let's check out what a dope dude he is. Or we could just do this as a matter of fact. Bada bing. Please go to the right timestamp and you
ties
did.
to the
It's all right.
corporation
It's
set
all right.
performing an allied drug in New York. Julia,
The Hammer family.
the Hammer family's roots in America are traced back to Julius Hammer, an immigrant from Russia who ran a business called Allied Drug in New York.
Okay.
Julius Hammer
So
named
he came
his son
from Russia.
Armand after the arm and hammer symbol of the Socialist Labor Party.
That's so
He was
crazy
a
to me.
founder of the American Communist Labor Party and one of the major reasons why Armand later rubbed elbows with Vladimir Lenin and Leonid Brezhnev, according to the New York Times. Julius helped the Soviet Union procure necessary supplies from the United States in light of embargoes. When he was arrested for performing an abortion in which the patient later died, Armand took over and became the first in command. He was the main actor for Soviet concessions, allowing him to mine asbestos in the Soviet Union while he persuaded American companies to
Let's
invest
not forget
in
about
the
the
country.
abortion they just mentioned.
He also saved the Soviets' food industries by shipping them beef and phosphoric acid, which was used in agriculture.
We combined
His
them.
relationship
I hope
with the
that's
Soviet
okay.
Union dwindled when Joseph Stalin took over, despite Lenin's personal appeals to Stalin to trust in Hammer, the Times reported. But their ties were strengthened once again
Stalin
when
didn't
Leonid
like him.
Brezhnev was in power, and it was around that time that the Kremlin wanted their guy
That's a
as
good
the
thing.
American
Lenin loved him, though.
ambassador to
Lenin
the
loved him.
Soviet
Yeah, that's
Union.
nuts.
Unsurprisingly, the request was denied by the White House. In 1970, time
hear
that the
that?
Kremlin wanted
No.
their guy as the American ambassador to the Soviet Union. Unsurprisingly, the request
wanted
was
him to be the
denied by
American
White
ambassador
House.
to the Soviet
crazy.
In 1972,
So they were
Armand Hammer donated
influential.
$54,000 to President Richard Nixon's re-election campaign. This is hardly news in the world of politics
Check
and
this
money,
out.
except that Hammer donated the funds under someone else's name,
Ah.
an action that was made illegal that same year. He delivered
Thankfully.
the money anonymously through former Montana Governor Tim Babcock,
Oh,
who ended up
wow.
being fined $1,000.
Grimy.
Hammer
Yeah.
managed to escape a prison sentence because of health reasons, but was given probation and a dent in his already questionable reputation. For 13 years,
Check it out,
Hammer
though.
lobbied the White House to clear his name. Ronald Reagan, whose administration side-eyed Hammer's Soviet connections, snubbed him. He was finally pardoned by President George H.W. Bush. And
Pardoned him.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Responses to the action were mixed.
Oil money, man.
For one, the
Yep.
pardon came after Hammer donated more than $100,000 to Bush and the Republican Party.
Oh,
But
I
it
wonder if
also
there's a
showed that
connection
this
there.
crime
Yeah.
was embedded in one of the most infamous
Oh,
crimes in
so
American
frustrating.
politics.
Listen.
Watergate.
His resignation as the 37th president of the
He was
United
part of
States
Watergate.
takes
Yeah.
effect at
He
noon
funded
today.
According to the
Watergate,
New York
basically.
Times, Hammer's unfortunately timed donation came at a fortunate time for the Nixon campaign, and it's safe to assume the money was used towards the DNC break-in.
So just insanity. He was
All
such a
over the
scumbag. Yeah. Literally across the board, a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's rough.
To the point where he's even part of Watergate scandal, dude.
Yeah, pretty much anything.
There's nothing.
seedy
Yeah,
during
there's,
that time,
yeah. There's
he was
no.
involved.
Yeah, there's no seedy thing that he didn't have his hand in.
Yeah. And they wanted
basically.
him to be an ambassador. This is great.
Yep.
Yeah, gee,
and so
I'm glad they said
he
no.
maintained those good relationships with the Soviet Union.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Oil
for
money, man.
50 plus years.
Mhm.
And in what's his name? Soviet leader. They mentioned him before. Leonid Brezhnev. Gave Hammer this amazing, gorgeous, luxurious apartment in Moscow.
Yeah.
And the Kremlin officials proposed that he be the United States
so
ambassador.
they don't do that for people that are just nice
Nope.
to them. No, there's
And
dealings.
the Reagan administration was like, nope. It made them uneasy. Even
yeah, that's freaking nuts. If they would have said yes, that would have made them
that
look
would've been crazy.
really bad.
So a Reagan official even said, I don't know. A Reagan official said, and I quote, "We simply don't know which side of the fence Hammer is on."
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Ugh.
So
his side every time, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. What did Jess say?
She said first. She said they like to own their women too, and
Yeah.
then she said if Stalin didn't like him either, then that's saying something. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Right.
Yeah.
So speaking of women, even his ex-wife in her divorce testimony, and this is what a piece of shiza he is. She said that he willfully, maliciously, and deliberately pursued a course of conduct, employed techniques, tactics, and practices calculated and designed to destroy her will.
Yeah.
He threatened her with serious bodily violence and injury, and he said, quote, he'd beat her brains out.
Jeez Louise.
While brandishing a metal pipe, he said
Oh,
this.
come on.
Yeah. She said, I quote, I feared my husband. He is a master of psychological warfare.
Right. A lot of these guys are.
Yeah,
That's
that's their
sociopathy
game
for sure.
and
Yeah.
that's their game, and that's what they get off on.
Oh yeah, they like controlling people, and especially
Very much so.
yeah,
we'll get
someone
and
like
we'll
that.
get to someone specifically who really enjoyed that. So he's not a good man by any stretch of the imagination, but he did have a huge goal in mind. And this is so antithetical to who he is and everything. And it's so funny that this is his end-all be-all goal.
Yeah.
So for him, the end-all be-all was the Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh, that's
he
so
wanted it.
freaking crazy, dude.
So Dr. Hammer, I put quotes around the doctor, even though he's a doctor, just because he liked to be called Dr. Hammer, because he's a nut. So when he was young, his family was disgraced because, like I mentioned before, his father was put in prison due to a botched abortion.
Right.
Yeah, and where the woman died. And the woman, in fact, was a Russian diplomat's wife.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that and probably the fact that he had ties to the Soviet Union is probably the only reason he went to prison.
Yeah.
Because the son, Armand, was thinking, oh, shit. Well, actually, I'll get to this.
This is like the 70s and 80s.
Well, check this out, because a lot of people think that Armand was actually the one who did the abortion, not his father.
Oh, interesting.
They think
but because
did the
he was on
abortion.
his way out, let's put it on him because this is the new generation. He'll be around a little bit longer.
Well, Armand was still in medical school when he did it, and his father had a medical license. He was a practicing doctor. So they figured if we put it on the dad, no harm, no foul. He's a doctor. Shit happens.
Yeah.
But because of his political ties,
yeah,
he went to prison.
Of course.
Which they weren't expecting.
Well, good.
But he was infatuated with getting the Nobel Peace Prize. And here's a little bit about it. So this gentleman wrote an entire book about Armand. And this is him right here. It's Edward J. Epstein.
Okay.
Artwork and other.
So, and this is it right here.
The Nobel Peace Prize. How did he try to get it?
Obsessed with it.
Like he tried to get everything. He believed you can buy anything in
Yeah.
this world.
Yes, of course.
And he set his sights on it. He had terrific focus, Hammer. He would decide to do something, and then he would map out, like a military campaign, how he was going to win it.
He was actually in House
And
of
he
Hammer
realized
as well.
that he needed to be nominated.
This guy?
Discussing it, yeah.
Character
Done by
witness
a
of
number
some kind?
parliamentarians around the world, and he wanted Prince Charles to nominate him, so Prince Charles of England. So he began to cultivate Prince Charles
In a big way.
And he cultivated him by giving money to his favorite philanthropies and even building a college for him.
In his name.
He brought his artwork to Sweden and Norway, where the Nobel Prize Foundation is. He began cultivating people in the Nobel Prize Foundation. He determined that the Peace Prize is given by basically a small number, 5 or 6 ex-legislators from the Norway Parliament, and he began approaching them. And to my amazement, you know, he had, of course, had to plead guilty to a misdemeanor having to do with violating American election laws.
Okay,
And he
yep.
tried to get a pardon for George Bush so he'd be eligible for the
Because you can't.
prize when they told him to do that.
Yeah.
To my amazement, after he died and I went to Sweden and spoke to the president of the Nobel Foundation and asked him how close Hammer came, he said, Hammer, it was on a short list. And I said, how short? He said, there were 2 people, Hammer and the Dalai Lama.
Oh my gosh, he almost. Well, what?
Dalai Lama
That's
won.
who he was up
He
against?
lost to the Dalai Lama.
Oh
It's a
my
remarkable
goodness.
accomplishment. It's remarkable given the fact
He
that
was on a short list with that
nowhere,
man, with
deserving
that name. That's so absurd to me.
Go back and
They should not even be spoken in the same breath. Oh, that's so frustrating.
And he was a hair away from getting his goal, which
I'm
was
so glad that didn't happen. Could you imagine looking back historically and saying, "Oh, he beat out the
Thank
Dalai
God
Lama"?
the Dalai Lama was doing philanthropic stuff that year.
Yeah.
Because good Lord,
Yeah.
could you imagine? Because he's a monster, this man.
Yeah.
So he was basically a communist using capitalism to garner money for the Soviet Union.
There you go. Yeah.
And
So
and
not
to
not
support
a
the Soviet Union.
not a red-blooded American. Sounds
No,
like
not by any means.
No.
Not by any means.
Yeah.
And so Armand was the patriarch of the entire Hammer family, like his father Julius before him was. And then Armand had a grandson, Michael. Michael did horrible things regarding abuse.
Well, when you have these are your mentors, and these are when you're a kid,
absolutely.
your father is everything as a boy.
That's
wanna
what
be
you learn
him.
what a man is.
Yeah, and how to be and how to treat your
How to
wife
act.
and how
Yep.
to, what kind of business, how big man you should be. And
absolutely. My parents thankfully taught me I hold the door open for a woman. I treat them with respect.
Heck yeah.
And even people in the chat can attest to that.
Good.
I always do. We were taught to be gentlemen.
It's
and
true.
I would argue we both are.
Yeah.
And and it's important. And
agreed.
So family is everything. We were taught, that's where we learned to be men, to how to treat women from our mother.
So if you have a poor, influence,
role model,
role model, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble, man. And one of these gentlemen certainly did. All of these gentlemen actually did, unfortunately. Even Julius, who was Armand's father.
Okay.
So Armand had a grandson, Michael. Michael did horrible things with abuse allegations and, a lot of terrible stuff. One horrible thing was he offered to pay $1 million to his son to screw his son's girlfriend.
Come on.
That kind of freaking psycho. That kind of sick. That's what we're dealing
and
with.
And as a son, like, what do you think when your dad
Despicable.
approaches you with something like this? What do you think you're
What's
gonna
wrong with
do?
you?
Yeah. What are you gonna?
I would just say,
what are you
what
teaching your
is
kid?
wrong with you, dude? What are you talking about?
That's so insane.
But to them, it's a game. It's a joke. It's fun. Because his girlfriend, he'll meet a new girl that he's going to introduce to the family the next week. So it doesn't matter. These people are sick.
You remember in Braveheart, the king, the evil king that was just the worst. Remember how he was with his son's new bride, the French princess?
Prima nocta, baby.
Yeah, that whole, exactly. And he did it because of her and his wedding.
And she was a stunner.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, I know, he's big and ass.
Yeah.
What did Jess say?
Yes, I agree. Great gentleman. Thank you, Jess.
Oh, thank you, Jessica. I thought she was talking about Armand. I'm like, wow. No, I'm kidding. So, pardon me. So, anyway, back to this horrible piece of garbage.
Yeah.
So, offered to pay $1 million, which is just disgusting.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah. So, her brother, Casey Hammer,
the one who we saw talking, just
Casey
calling
Hammer
her family out for
is
being
the one
nuts.
who wrote the book that the show was basically based off.
Oh, okay.
Roughly.
So she knows everything.
And her
She
brother
actually
is
knows.
Michael. Michael is Armie Hammer's father.
Okay.
And we all know Armie Hammer.
And he's the one, the psycho.
He's the actor.
Oh, he was going to pay Armie Hammer for his girlfriend?
No, his other son,
okay.
the youngest.
But still.
But still. Well, assumingly, because they didn't say Armie, so assumedly.
Okay. So we don't know which one, but
we don't.
geez
But we're going to
Louise,
assume.
dude.
Yeah, not Armie, else they would have said probably.
Yeah.
So, Armie Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go on to this.
The name we all know.
The name we all know.
Famous actor
And
was.
just so you guys know, Arm and Hammer, the company came before Arm and Hammer. His namesake was taken from that. And then years later, he even did buy stock in Arm and Hammer because not only was it had ties to the Soviet Union,
Of course.
but it was also his namesake, and he wanted to keep his brand up and alive.
Yeah.
Right? Was just watching the Hulu doc. Cat.
That's cool. So Chase is saying we just watched this Hulu documentary.
Dope. Which documentary?
It's probably the same one, just on
this
Hulu.
I don't think it's on Hulu. Oh, who knows?
Maybe there's
what
another
do I
one.
know?
Jeez.
What do I know?
If there's a new one, I'm gonna watch that too.
So we all know Armie Hammer. He's been in such films as The Lone Ranger,
Yeah.
playing the titular character.
Right.
Call Me by Your Name, in which he received accolades. He even got a best supporting nod. For,
Right, they were
a Golden
nominated,
Globe.
yeah.
Golden Globe nod for his performance.
And the twins. He played the twins in the Facebook movie.
We'll get there. Yeah.
Oh,
So no, you're good. He was in Call Me by Your Name, opposite Timothy Chalamet, right? Who was, and I think, and if you watch their press tour and stuff, you could clearly see that they're trying to force this whole bromance and gate. It was super like queer baiting stuff.
Really?
Very much so.
Oh, wow.
But if you read between the lines, you could totally tell that Armie is jealous of Chalamet in the
attention he was getting,
in the sense that they were praising him for his amazing acting.
I never
ability.
saw the movie, but I saw interviews.
Well, we know, and even watching Dune and the movies you probably have seen with Chalamet,
yeah.
he's a stunning actor. He's
good.
fantastic.
Yeah,
he's very, very good.
This young kid.
Yeah. So I think he was jealous of them saying, "Oh, you have such natural talent,
right?
And such an amazing actor. You're so great at this and that." And Armie, he attempted to cultivate that kind of praise over years and years, given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity with
huge budget
major
films.
blockbuster films.
Oof.
Yeah. And it was failure after failure, flop after major blockbuster flop.
Yeah.
Lone Ranger, big flop. Man from U.N.C.L.E., huge flop.
Yeah, surprisingly.
And it was a great film.
That should be
Guy Ritchie's The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
I liked it. Yeah, that's
Or
fun
he starred alongside Henry Cavill. Amazing film. And he was given every opportunity in the world. Even God gave him the gifts of being a tall, handsome,
Dude, super good-looking
rich
guy,
family.
yeah.
He's amazing looking. Born into a rich family.
Yep.
You can't ask for more than that.
No, that's just it. Is what
Yep.
it is. Yeah, you
And-
got it or you don't.
No, he worked on a few small roles here and there
Yeah.
before he came to prominence, playing the Winklevoss twins.
Yeah,
in
that's the first
The
time I ever
Social
saw
Network.
him.
That's the first time most of us saw him.
Yeah.
We actually did see him in a few other. He played a role in Veronica Mars. He was in a few other shows
Okay,
here and
I
there.
could see that.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah,
I
right.
wonder what
He was a
role he
jock.
was.
He was a jock.
Of course.
Saying, Veronica, I need your help. Veronica.
I think I remember this.
Dude,
Yeah.
me too. When I researched that and I saw that, I'm like, dude, I think I even remember.
totally remember,
who,
yeah.
like he was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But the Winklevoss thing, that was such a good part.
He was given
did a
that.
great
He
job.
did great. Well, you got to
What
give accolades
good.
also to David Fincher. That
come on.
movie was nominated for 8
My favorite
Academy
writer, too.
Awards.
Yeah.
Do you have a pick? I do. I have a of Armie. Are we talking?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Oh, I have videos coming up right now, actually.
Nice.
So after several years appearing, let's try that again. Take 2. Cut. Action. Reset. After
want
several
lunch.
after several years appearing as a happily married family man and great father, the world started to unravel around him when the image that he had shown the entire world was shattered.
Well, that's
and
right, he
multiple
was
women
married.
came out accusing him of sexual misconduct. Yeah, and so here's a little.
Not getting away with that stuff anymore,
Nope.
buddy.
It's
and
the
I'm
Me Too
surprised
era,
he should
buddy.
know. He should have known.
Oh no, this
He thought
kind
he was
of
too-
psycho.
Yeah,
you
you're
can't
right.
tame. Yeah.
And they think they're above it. They think they
I
can
get to
get
come
away
over
with
to your-
anything.
Um,
Buying the Nobel Peace Prize. You think
house
that
with my
people
bag
like
of
that don't
goodies,
think they can buy their
completely
way out of it?
incapacitated. I get to come over to your house with my bag of goodies, completely incapacitating you until I was done with you.
I am here to talk about what happened in my relationship with Armie Hammer. Not only is he an actor, he was gorgeous and tall and
Do we
gross.
have
Sorry.
to start this one?
I got everything worked out, so it's about a minute now.
Okay,
more and
cool.
stuff.
Yeah,
I got you.
Just wondering.
To fall for him. But something didn't feel right.
That probably helped though.
Yeah,
Once
so I
the
did.
sexual nature of the DM started, it was all that he wanted to ever talk about. And then he mentioned
That's how
the
you know
ropes.
something's not okay.
Yeah.
No deeper conversations.
Like, it's like the ropes were like around your neck, your wrists, your ankles, behind your back. I had
Run.
bruises. I hated it. Can we take a break?
Yeah,
It was
run.
grooming.
He's a big movie star.
Right.
I'm not naive enough to think that I'm the only one. I knew something about him would come up in the future because I know how careless he is.
He said things like he wanted to barbecue and eat her.
Whoa! Yeah, these kind of people
I
are
am 100%
really bad,
a
dude.
cannibal. He says.
Wide open.
Fucking sick.
Yeah.
So this music, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, that's absurd. Especially when you're famous to
wielded
say
a lot
that
of
on
prestige
text.
and power. But beneath it all was a dark world of deceit, betrayal, and corruption.
Very wealthy, privileged men got away with different bad things throughout these generations.
And it's what happened to Armie Hammer to a sick degree.
You just don't wake up and become this abuser. There has to be
Yeah.
a seed that's planted.
Oh my goodness, man. Come on.
I know. It's sick. Trigger warning much. Yeah.
For sure.
I even said before, when I started, I said.
And another one now,
absolutely.
yeah. Good reminder, Alicia.
Yeah, thank you, Alicia, for sure.
Oof.
So it's despicable, his actions,
Yeah.
who he is, how he acts. And so mentions of extreme BDSM and cannibalism even.
Cannibalism.
Yep, the world got to see who Armie Hammer truly is.
Yeah.
And that he's a man who was given every opportunity in the world. Studios, agents, publicists, all bending over freaking backwards to try and make this man happen, to try and make him the next
Seriously.
big thing,
Yeah,
to
gave
try and
him
make
everything,
him a star. And it just wouldn't take. People didn't. Yeah, people just weren't.
Maybe
didn't want him.
inherently there was something about him people didn't like. Sometimes people just know.
You could just see sort of through.
Which is funny. I always thought, I was like, wow, look at this really handsome, charming guy. Like, he should be the biggest
he should be
thing.
And when I saw Man from U.N.C.L., I'm like, this makes sense. Okay, put him in a role like this. Of course, yeah. So one of the most troubling parts of his story is that out of all of the men in the Hammer family, they all had the same demons, quote unquote. His grandfather, Armie, who, if the story is true that his ex-wife told him, or told
the court.
No, told specifically that journalist we just saw.
Yeah.
He is the one who did the operation and killed that woman in the botched abortion.
Oh, that story.
Yes.
Jeez Louise, man.
So, this guy basically, murdered someone.
Right, yeah.
Basically. Yeah. He, like I said, didn't have his, he was still in school, didn't have his doctorate.
Right to do anything.
Nope. And then put it on his father. And his father only went to prison, probably because his ties to,
the Soviet
like I said, the Soviet Union.
And this was during a time of the Cold War.
This is Cold War era, exactly. And but this guy still, Armie, is shaking hands with presidents. He was a part of Watergate scandal, providing the money. Yeah, there was a major disaster on one of his oil rigs, killing over 100 freaking people. 100 human beings died on one of his oil rigs. Did he go to jail? Did he get charged with anything? Absolutely not.
What?
Yep. Nope, nothing. No trouble at all. Zero. He was probably busy having dinner with Prince Charles and Princess Diana because they would dine and hang out often. Yep. He even got, like it mentioned earlier, a pardon from George H.W. Bush.
Yeah,
George
that's
Herbert Walker
disappointing right
Bush,
there.
for his election tampering charges.
That's disappointing.
He sold the Soviet Union. He sold to the Soviet Union, giving them essential goods during the Cold War, which just obviously treasonous, like you were saying before, damn near. So these are monsters disguised as like distinguished good men.
Right, a distinguished gentleman.
The elite, if you will. Yeah. And another disturbing discovery is how cavalier Armie was discussing his deeds.
That's what makes me like,
so
what?
Cavalier in leaving voice memos.
Yeah, how do you not know this stuff can get out so easily, especially if you're hurting
saying,
people?
I want to eat your, I would barbecue your, and trigger warning again, guys. This is graphic stuff. Cannibalistic stuff, saying he wants to barbecue their ribs.
Yeah,
that he wants to eat them. He wants to eat their heart.
What girl's getting these texts and is like, oh, so I met the greatest guy.
So at first, it is that. It is, I met the greatest guy. He's charming and handsome and funny, and he's a famous movie star.
Guy, rich family.
Yep, and he does this grooming thing. So he'll find specifically women who who don't know much about BDSM or submissive versus dominance or doms, right? So they don't understand that dynamic. So they don't understand this isn't how it goes. This is straight abuse.
Right.
They think,
100%.
oh, I'm being a prude, or he wants to do this. If I say no, I'm being this. And girls, especially pretty girls who are trying to impress, they're not trying to say no.
And they're young. Those girls didn't look
young
very
and impressionable.
Old. Yeah.
I was just gonna say absolutely. And so of course this charming guy comes up. They're like, oh, they think the world. Yeah. They just hit the
Probably
lottery.
Expensive trips and expensive
that was another thing.
gifts
Well,
and,
I'm glad you brought that up. That was another thing he would do. As a matter of fact, he wasn't even creative. So he would take them on an airline, and he took this girl on an airline to a hotel. They did this activity, then they did this.
Yeah.
Once all this came out, one of the other girls spoke to the other, literally beat for beat.
The
same exact. Even
well, we know it works. So yeah, what a clown.
Even called them the same pet names.
Oh, clown.
Everything was. He didn't even switch it up. So you could only imagine how many women
clown
he did this
alert.
to. Clown alert. Yeah, for real. So that was the real sick part. Is he's doing this horrible shit, being so cavalier on the phone about it.
Dude.
Oh, I loved when you were crying and screaming on the floor.
What the? Yeah,
I thought that was so hot when you were doing that.
Whoa.
Yeah, when he's binding these women up, and then he's on Colbert the next night showing him how to tie ropes.
Dude, that's sickening.
Showing him how to tie knots.
He was actually showing it off on TV.
Didn't give a fudge. Cavalier as can be.
Yeah, stupid ass. I'm glad he did it. I'm glad he made all these mistakes so that now we know. It's not just conjecture. It's not alleged. We've got hard evidence that this guy is who he is, and we don't have to deal with him anymore.
Well,
in the public
here's
light.
who he is now.
Okay.
This is what
yeah,
he's...
I was going to say, where is he? I haven't seen him in a long time.
Here's where he is these days.
Okay.
He's a real stud doing a lot of cool stuff. Ready? Check it out.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even got to do that.
Is this another trigger warning?
No.
Okay.
There's one part that shows... I probably won't even show it as a matter of fact.
Okay.
It's just a chick in lingerie. It's what it already showed before, as a matter of fact. So check it out. Here's what he's doing now, this dope dude.
But he won't make Armie Hammer a beloved movie star.
And for those listening,
this might
I'll explain after.
why he had watched the implosion of his career with such nihilistic
He's
ease.
licking drugs off his buddy's
Although
hand
his unraveling
while
may seem
drinking
like
beer
the
in a
result
car
of
in
an
another
episode of
video.
deep psychosis.
And he's like filming it to put online or something?
Yeah.
What an idiot.
So this is him smoking weed.
You're not cool,
Smoking
dude.
weed on Instagram,
That's
thinking he's
not
funny with his hair up.
Yeah,
Nope.
you're not
he just
original.
He just lost his shit.
Yeah.
He lost his shit.
Oh yeah, look at him. Yeah, he looked like a crazy person.
Yep.
He looked like if Doc Brown was an abuser.
Because his hair was all spiked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this is the video he takes where he's walking in a room. He thinks he's funny. He's showing off the room. And then he pans past a woman in lingerie on his
That's
bed.
him trying to show off.
He's being all
wow.
cool. So where is he now, you ask?
Yeah, I would love to know.
So after his...
so I can avoid it.
So yeah. So not charged with a single crime yet.
Yet.
Yes,
Okay.
yet, thankfully. Hopefully
there's some stuff
incoming.
out there good.
Hopefully charges incoming. Yes.
Yeah, this behavior needs to be
No charges
stopped.
yet. Yep. It seems like a running theme with the Hammer family, minus Julius, who only went to jail because
I don't like it.
After the surgery, because Armin lied and said it was him.
Yeah.
They all lied and said it was him because they thought he wouldn't go to jail, but because of his political ties, he did. The only man in that family who saw any prison time or
So far.
the inside of a jail cell.
Sarah said,
So
"Look,
far.
a gross, legit predator."
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. So Robert Downey Jr., like I said, I was going to get to him.
Yeah,
Iron Man himself, baby.
Yeah.
He got a lot of backlash because when Armie was going through all this,
Yeah.
he put him up in a rehab and a house, a place to
Okay,
stay,
yeah, trying to
paid for
fix
it,
him.
which is he got a lot of backlash for. They're like,
Yeah.
why are you paying for this monster? Well, Robert Downey, if those of you younger absolutely won't remember, he had a huge drug problem and went through a big ordeal where he was going in and out of jail.
Yeah.
He was going through. He wasn't always the biggest
Not an
star in the world.
abuser of any kind.
No,
but
well,
he-
absolutely an abuser.
he can recognize
an abuser of drugs,
but
not
not
women.
people.
He abused drugs,
Yeah.
not women.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So he was in and out of prison, in and out of jail.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever did hard time. So in and
I'm
out of
not,
jail.
I'm not angry at RDJ for that. It sounds like he's trying to
I
get
think
this
he had the
behavior
best of
cured.
intentions.
Exactly.
I think he had. I don't think
Yeah.
he's saying, "Oh, I know this guy's a worm.
I support
but
this,
I'm
not
a
in
support."
any
Yeah,
way. Yeah.
I agree.
He's like, you need mental help.
Absolutely.
I know a place.
So gave him a place to stay and paid for his rehab. After Armie's family totally disavowed him.
Yeah.
Or disowned him.
Okay.
So Armie has recently been spotted working for a timeshare company in the Cayman Islands.
Okay.
A definite fall from grace. So in summary, a supremely rich, powerful, and seemingly unstoppable family dynasty came to a crashing halt.
Yep.
After generations of verbal, physical, sexual abuse.
Yeah.
These men believed there's no recourse for their actions, and the justice system was, basically proving their case.
Yeah.
Saying, nope, there is no recourse. You guys are all good. But now Hollywood's biggest rising star that everybody puts so much time, effort, and money into is wearing polo and khakis, walking into a timeshare company.
Yeah. Get him out of the spotlight. I don't want anyone thinking they want to grow up and be like him.
Yep. At least it's the Cayman Islands, I guess.
Yeah.
Good. So,
even
which
that
is more
sucks.
than he deserves.
Right. You're right. Way more than he deserves.
More than he deserves.
Sarah says this is why that much money and power isn't healthy for a human being. There is no
totally
consequences, and extreme behavior becomes a drug and
I
needs a
totally
larger
agree.
and larger dose.
So that gentleman, the journalist, even says Armand, his ultimate goal was not money. It wasn't even power.
It was reputation.
It was the things that power got you. But his main goal was that fucking Nobel Peace Prize, because
so sick.
to him, to Armand, it wasn't money, it wasn't power. It was legacy.
Yeah, that's legacy.
Name.
You will be known forever. Yeah.
Yep. And he wanted to get that Nobel Peace Prize because he thought it would change the legacy, and it would say, my father who went to prison when our name was disgraced and people wouldn't utter it. I want to change that. Now look at me, and then I'm going to get the Nobel Peace Prize, and that'll shut
do something that constitutes peace. Yeah, don't buy it. That's not legacy.
He tried to get it the way he could try to get everything else through buying it, and it didn't freaking work. Thank God.
Go fund a Tesla coil. Do something like that.
Not Tesla, but a Tesla coil. Yeah. And it's disgusting that he was on the short list of 2. Him and the Dalai Lama. Thank gosh, the Dalai Lama.
I'm glad
won.
that eventually, though, they didn't win. Like all of these guys were exposed,
and that's what I was going to say.
Win.
In summary, their true legacy is not the philanthropy.
No,
is not him glad handing and shaking hands with the royal family or the multiple presidents.
Yeah,
his legacy is the disgusting acts that him and his family perpetrated. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah,
and I keep thinking perpetuity. I'm like, no, what's the word? Perpetrated these acts against women.
Yeah,
that is their legacy.
Yep.
And that always will be because they're freaking scumbags.
Yeah, and now it's known. Everyone knows it forever.
So unlike Mr.
JP Morgan?
Mr. Morgan, unlike Mr. Morgan, these people's misdeeds, unlike Armand, who's dead, but these people's misdeeds are here while they're alive, and they get to reap the benefits of being shitty people.
Yeah, good.
You scumbags. So hopefully Armie gets charged with something because I didn't even get into a lot of the graphic stuff.
Good. You didn't need to. What
so
you
much
said
worse.
Enough.
Guys,
we can
if you want to
extrapolate.
Absolutely. If you want to see it, go look at that HBO documentary. It's really good. Also, I want to thank Grudge for helping me with my research. They did a lot of. I took a lot from their website.
Nice.
And from their YouTube videos that I used.
Yeah.
So thanks to them. And yeah, so that's that, dude.
Yeah,
pretty freaking nuts.
It is nuts, man. I'm glad we talked about some of this stuff. It's good to shine a light on it, no matter how big the spotlight is. Yeah.
Agreed. I hope it wasn't too dark of an episode.
No, I think this is stuff people are fascinated by.
With.
And you know what? Talking about this stuff prevents it from happening again.
Absolutely.
And it keeps our eyes open to it when it is happening, so we know.
Help be a little more aware.
Exactly. Yeah. So spreading awareness in this way
huge
has a positive effect, and I'm glad we talked about this stuff.
Absolutely.
Maybe someone listening to this one day might be in a position of power or influence, and when it comes down to funding a Tesla,
the back of their head
or shuttering a Tesla, they'll do it.
Yeah. Or I was thinking the other thing, or in the back of their head when some guy's saying all the right things and this and that.
Oh yeah.
But they have that gut feeling. Maybe they'll be like, oh yeah, remember?
Oh, definitely.
Cameron and Jared were talking about these freaking wicked guys grooming these.
There's
chicks.
A few red flags.
Not saying we're heroes or going to help anybody. I'm just saying hopefully they remember these crazy stories.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and protect yourself. Be safe out there.
That's it. Think about that poor girl that was just
crying, talking about it. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, that just happened in Vegas, that poor girl.
Oh, that stuff, yeah. Jesus.
Shit happens every day, and it's sad. So, moral of the story is, be aware, be on the lookout for these creeps. And, hey, if they come and knocking, you call Jared and Cameron, and we'll be
in the
on
chat.
The fly. Yeah. We'll be on the fly to kick some ass.
We got your back.
If you both own weapons. We both own pistols. Yeah, we'll come and I'll save you. But is there anything else?
No. Agreed. Thank you to the sources that you mentioned. Thank you to the chat for being so involved.
Discovery
today.
Plus. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Alicia.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chase, as always. Thank you, Jessica, as always.
TBRM,
the best.
McKenna,
the rock and roll.
Yep.
McKenna.
And Anthony at the beginning.
Yeah, Anthony Dow, my boy.
Yep.
All of you guys, thank you so much. Great show.
Great show.
Thank you so much. And guys, we love you more than life in itself. But Jared's got a life. I don't know. I was going to go.
Shit.
But I got a wife that's determined to make my life live in hell, but I handle it well given the circumstances. I'm down. Anyway, guys, we love you so much. I'm Cameron. This is Jared from the podcast Never Sleeps. We'll see you Thursday for Crash Talk at 5 p.m. We love you guys, and we'll see you then. Have a great rest of your evening.
Like and subscribe. It helps us so much.
Subscribe, and hit that. Yep.
Good night.
Hit that like, subscribe, comment, and Patreon.
Have a great week.
Later, guys.